Welcome to Sunday Night with Old Time Radio. We have a very crowded schedule today, so I'm just going to give the bare bones of what you'll be hearing. We begin with the 1955 episode of Christmas Sing with Bing. We then turn to Damon Runyon Theater, move to Sherlock Holmes, The Night Before Christmas. Next up is the Lux Theater's production of The Thin Man. And then we close with Rocky Fortune, the plot to kill Santa Claus. Can you believe it? Thanks for joining us. Let's get started.
Happy holiday, happy holiday. While the merry bells keep ringing, may your every wish come true.
Greetings, and a Merry Christmas to all. As you know, one of the most heartwarming experiences of the Christmas season is the traditional caroling of troubadours and different choirs through the holidays, singing the great hymns and the carols for all who listen, and bringing to everyone the wonderful warmth and glow that makes for the Christmas spirit. Join us then, will you, on this tour of the free world, during which we're going to visit France, and England, the Netherlands, Italy, the Holy Land, Canada, and many parts of the USA.
Happy holiday to you.
A happy holiday it is indeed. So let's start off with an old established carol, Joy to the World.
Joy to the world, the Lord is come. Let earth receive her King. Let every heart prepare him room. And heaven and nature sing, and heaven and nature sing, and heaven and nature sing.
All right, everybody now in the family key, please.
Joy to the world, the Savior reigns. Let men their songs employ. While fields and floods, rocks, hills and plains, repeat the sounding joy. The sounding joy. Repeat the sounding joy. Repeat the sounding joy. Joy to the world, the Lord is come. Let earth receive her King. Let every heart prepare him room. And heaven and nature sing, and heaven and nature sing, and heaven and nature sing. Here we come a-caroling among the leaves so green. Here we come a-wandering so fair to be seen.
Ah, Joy to the World. What a wonderful song to start our caroling. Surely no heart can fail to respond to the thought of Christmas and the sounds of Christmas music. Gee, I love it, and I hope you do too. Now we're going to travel to St. Louis, Missouri, where ever since 1911, when I was but an infant, my Dr. Denton's, the St. Louis Carol Association has worked diligently each season to keep the Christmas season alive in their fair city. Here we call upon the St. Louis Carol Association, almost 400 high school students. They're going to lift their voices in joyful song to give us their version of Hark the Herald Angels Sing. So for a first-hand report on the carolers in St. Louis, we take you then to Rex Davis. And of course, he's in St. Louis.
Christmas is really in the air here in St. Louis. Almost 400 high school students, members of their various school choruses, are assembled here, getting ready for the annual Christmas caroling, and about to lift their voices in song under the direction of Helen Louise Graves. Bing, we hope that all of your listeners will join them now in singing Hark the Herald Angels Sing.
Wasn't that impressive, huh? Certainly a wonderful sound from those good people in St. Louis. Many thanks, and my warmest Christmas greetings to you. Our next number, though I suppose it hardly fits properly into the carol category, fits in, I think, so perfectly with the melodies of the Christmas season that I'm sure you'll understand my reason for calling upon one and all to join me in singing it. One of the greatest of all Christmas songs. Let's all sing White Christmas.
Of a white Christmas, just like the ones I used to know, where the treetops glisten and children listen to hear sleigh bells in the snow. I'm dreaming of a white Christmas, with every Christmas card I write. May your days be merry and bright, and may all your Christmases be white. With every Christmas card I write, may your days be merry and bright, and may all your Christmases be white.
As we tour the world on this most beautiful of holidays and the most holy of holy days, we progress considerably closer to the realm of Father Nicholas himself, because we're going to travel to Canada and pay a Yuletide visit to the city of Granby, Quebec, where we're about to hear from the Honorable P. Horace Boivin, Mayor of Granby, Quebec, who will present the famous little singers of Granby. Monsieur le Maire, s'il vous plaît.
Thank you, Bing. It is a great pleasure for me to send you good wishes. Won't everyone now join in one of the greatest of all Christmas carols, Adeste Fideles.
In bed.
may I return you now to Bing Crosby in Hollywood. To you all, Joyeux Noël, and a very Merry Christmas.
Oh, merveilleux, magnifique. We certainly enjoyed that visit, and a joyeux Noël to one and all. Merci bien, mes amis. We're going to continue now on our round-the-world tour as we make another impressive call at Salt Lake City, where we're fortunate in being able to hear the world-famous Salt Lake Tabernacle Choir. I give you now Richard Evans, who's going to tell you about their selection.
This is Richard Evans speaking from the Tabernacle on Temple Square in Salt Lake City, from the crossroads of the West. Winter is here with us early this year, but the pace of life has paid little attention to it as the monument of Brigham Young looks down this Christmas Eve on the brilliantly lighted lane that is Salt Lake City's main street. And now, with J. Spencer Cornwall conducting and Alexander Schreiner at the organ, the Salt Lake Mormon Tabernacle Choir will sing a cherished Christmas song, "We Three Kings of Orient Are." And now, back to Bing Crosby and Hollywood.
Here we come a-caroling among the leaves so green. Here we come, the one brings so fair to be seen.
Just great, just great. May I say you've all earned our warmest appreciation for your brilliant contribution. Now, let's all throw back our heads, huh? Let's open up our hearts and sing this lovely carol, which for many years has been such a favorite among carolers and troubadours the world over. It tells the story of the first Christmas, and it's called The First Noel.
The first Noel, the angel did say, was to certain poor shepherds in fields as they lay, in fields where they lay keeping their sheep on a cold winter's night that was so deep. Noel, 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 born is the King of Israel. They looked up and saw a star shining in the east beyond them far, and to the earth it gave great light, and so it continued both day and night. Noel, Noel, Noel.
leaves so green. Here we come, the wandering so fair to be seen.
You know, Christmas can be a merry time, even for some of us who are not as fortunate as the rest. You know, out here in Hollywood, there's a singing group of young people who call themselves the Voices of Christmas. They make it their business and their duty and their chore at Christmas time to bring good cheer to the young and the sick. We're going to switch over now to the Children's Hospital in Los Angeles, California, to join them. Standing by to introduce his singers is Mr. Les Brown. Les, are you there?
Indeed I am, Bing. Got quite a crowd with me, too. As you know, we're at the Children's Hospital in Los Angeles. Among our Voices of Christmas are Maggie and Barbara Whiting, Sonny and Dottie Burke, Gary Crosby. You've heard of him, haven't you? Dick Stewart, Paul and Katie Nero, Joanne Greer, Lucy Ann Polk, my kid brother Stumpy Brown, and also Jeannie Detterman. Well, let's try Carol of the Bells. Ready, everybody?
Hark how the bells, sweet silver bells, all seem to say, throw cares away. Christmas is here, bringing good cheer to young and old, meek and the bold. Ding dong, glad is the song, big joyful ring, all caroling. One seems to hear words of the cheer from everywhere, filling the air. Oh, how they come raising the sound, o'er hill and dale, telling the tales, giving the ring, while people sing songs of good cheer. Christmas is here. Merry, 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 merry Christmas. Merry, 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 merry Christmas. On this end, long without end, big joyful tone to every home. Hark how the bells, sweet silver bells, all sing to say, throw cares away. Christmas is here, bringing good cheer to young and old, meek and the bold. Ding dong, glad is the song, with joyful ring, all caroling. One seems to hear words of good cheer from everywhere, filling the air. Oh, how they come raising the sound, o'er hill and dale, telling the tales, giving the ring, while people sing songs of good cheer. Christmas is here. Merry, 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 merry Christmas. Merry, 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 merry Christmas. On this end, long without end, big joyful tone to every home. Ding dong, ding dong.
Thank you, Les and group. Many thanks. And the season's greetings, of course, to the Voices of Christmas. We come now to a moment very near and very dear to the hearts of all of us. Some time ago, we asked for letters from children under 12 telling us in their own words just what Christmas meant to them. Of all the letters, and many of them were truly excellent, we selected one from a young lady who lives at the Desi Scott home in Pine Ridge, Kentucky, which I think tells very sincerely, very simply, the true meaning of Christmas to her. As Christmas belongs to the children, so does this moment belong to Dolores Short, who symbolizes all the children the world over on this holy night. I'd like you to hear Dolores Short of Pine Ridge, Kentucky. I'd like you to listen to her read her own heartwarming letter.
Dear Bing Crosby, I'm a girl of 11 years. I've lived in a children's home since I was a baby, and I just love it. Christmas has always meant a lot to us. Friends send us such nice gifts. What does Christmas mean to me? Days of excitement, secrets, making gifts, hiding gifts, making cookies, practicing with the choir, going to the woods for holly, mistletoe, and Christmas trees, decorating the tree in the house, listening to the Christmas story, and then telling it over to the little ones, singing carols on Christmas Eve, then hanging up stockings. Then the big day. Nearly 100 of us gathered in the dining room to open up the beautiful packages and under the tree. But what does Christmas really mean to me? It means the birthday of a tiny baby who came to earth to bring joy, peace, and salvation to men. Even though there wasn't room for him in Bethlehem, and he had to sleep in a manger, there's room for him today in children's hearts. Your friend, Dolores Short.
Well, that was a fine letter, Dolores, and beautifully read, too. Certainly, we must all be grateful to Dolores Short, don't you think, for giving us a whole lot to think about this Christmas season? Now then, let's see. Let's all stand by, huh? We're going to sing a carol here which, strangely enough, makes no reference to Christmas in its words, but nevertheless, it's been revered for many years, for years on end, actually, by carolers. It's called Good King Wenceslas.
Good King Wenceslas looked out on the feast of Stephen, when the snow lay round about, deep and crisp and even. Brightly shone the moon at night, though the frost was cruel, when a poor man came inside, gathering winter fuel. Hither, page, and stand by me, if thou know'st it telling, yonder peasant, who is he, where and what his dwelling?
Sire, he lives a goodly hence underneath a mountain, right against the forest fence by St. Agnes' fountain.
Then bring me flesh and bring me wine, bring me pine logs hither. Thou and I will see him dine when we bear them thither. Page and monarch, forth they went together, through the rude wind's wild lament and the bitter weather.
Sire, the night is darker now, and the winds blow stronger. Fails my heart, I know not how, I can go no longer.
Mark my footsteps, my good page, tread thou in them boldly. Thou shalt find the winter's rage freeze thy blood less coldly. In his master's steps he trod, where the snow lay dinted. Heat was in the very sod which the saint had printed. Therefore, Christian men, be sure, wealth or rank possessing, ye who will now bless the poor, shall yourselves find blessing.
Here we come a-caroling among the leaves so green. Here we come, the wandering so fair to be seen.
We hear a lot in song and books and poetry. Hear an awful lot about Paris in the spring when it's lush and lovely to look at, but hardly ever do we hear about Paris in the winter. What's it like in Paris at Christmas time, for instance? For a report, then, on this situation, we take you now to Paris, to David Schönbrunn.
These are the chimes of Notre Dame, Our Lady of Paris, tolling out across the River Seine, ringing in one of the merriest Christmases that France has ever known. And Père Noël will be leaving a lot of toys on the chimney mantle, where French children tonight are hopefully putting out their wooden shoes, just as our kids back home hang out their Christmas stockings. And throughout this nation tonight, millions of Frenchmen and women will be celebrating midnight mass, while this afternoon their children are singing ancient songs to the glory of the Christ child. Here with us in Paris is one such children's choir from the neighboring village of Neuilly, about a dozen little boys aged 6 to 10. Let's listen to them sing Jésus, Sauveur adorable, Jesus, sweet Savior, one of the loveliest of the French carols.
Le petit Jésus, Sauveur adorable, la nuit de Noël, naquit dans l'étable, des bergers vinrent bientôt l'adorer dans son berceau. Et sa voix bénie, salut au
This is David Schoenbrunn in Paris, returning you now to Bing Crosby and wishing Bing and all his friends un joyeux Noël de Paris, a very Merry Christmas from Paris.
Thank you, David. Thank you. Joyeux Noël, and of course, warm greetings to the little singers of Paris. Well then, shall we dash off to another faraway place on our gleeful global sing? I thought it'd be nice if we'd switch to Holland right now for a Christmas report from there by a man who's very well known to all the people in the Netherlands. We now hear from Fritz Stores at The Hague.
More and more, Christmas Eve is observed in Holland. It's a peaceful evening with church-going for many, a quiet evening in the family circle for even more. For most, it's a day of religious feeling, not of boisterous joy. For that we have the next day, second Christmas Day. That's for parties, dancing, and heavy eating. For the kids especially, but also for the elders, we had the 5th of December, the feast of St. Nicholas. St. Nicholas is for giving presents with joking verses for general fun-making, quite different from the serious December 25. But serious or merry, our wishes are just as heartfelt as yours. And so this is Fritz Stors from Hilversum in the Netherlands, wishing you all een gelukkig kerstfeest, a happy Christmas.
Certainly a beautiful Christmas song, isn't it? And our deepest thanks to you of the Netherlands. It's Christmas Eve in America and in the entire free world, and the most reassuring things we hear are the wonderfully warm sounds that go hand in hand with the pleasure of receiving, but more important, with the great joy of giving. All across the world you can hear the same age-old words of friendship.
Here we come a-caroling among the leaves so green. Here we come, the one brings so fair to be seen.
In the Christmas carols we're singing tonight, the words express the innermost feelings of all of us. I hope you're singing with us, for there's no feeling warmer, I believe, than the glow that we get when we open up our hearts and when we sing with our families and with our friends. Why don't we all sing out now, huh? Charming carol we have here, Away in a Manger.
Away in a manger, no crib for a bed, the little Lord Jesus laid down his sweet head. The stars in the sky looked down where he lay. The little Lord Jesus asleep on the hay. The cattle are lowing, the poor baby wakes, but little Lord Jesus, no crying he makes. I love thee, Lord Jesus, look down from the sky and stay by my cradle till morning is nigh.
Really, no round-the-world trip at Christmas time would be complete without a stop at Rome. A chance to hear one of the finest choirs in the world, the Vatican Choir. So we take you now to Rome and our good friend Bill Downs.
This is Bill Downs in Rome. Listen to the bells of St. Peter's calling the faithful to midnight mass on this holiest of nights. For in Italy, Christmas is essentially a religious holiday, solemn yet joyful in a way that only the Italians seem to have in enjoying their religion. Christmas Eve is for going to church, and if you're lucky and live in Rome, you can go to St. Peter's and hear the Vatican Choir sing, Tu scendi dalle stelle, Thou descendeth from the stars. Italians don't say Merry Christmas at this time of year. They say Buon Natale, happy birthday to the Christ child and to the world. And so, from Italy, Buon Natale. Now back to Bing Crosby.
Isn't that a fine choir? And what a really moving Christmas hymn. Now let us all return home for a minute. Now just long enough to sing one of the jolliest of all Christmas songs. It dates back to the Elizabethan period in merry old England. It's called Deck the Halls. You've got the pitch, the time, the beat, the tone. And so here we go.
Deck the halls with boughs of holly, fa la 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 la. 'Tis the season to be jolly, fa la 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 la. Don we now our gay apparel, fa la 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 la. Troll the ancient Yuletide carol, fa la 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 la. Fast away the old year passes, fa la 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 la. Hail the new ye lads and lasses, fa la 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 la. Sing we joyous all together, fa la 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 la. Heedless of the wind and weather, fa la 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 la.
Well, that that was a rollicking rally round, my gay carolers. May your Christmas stockings be filled to overflowing. I suppose one good English carol deserves another, so back we go to Merry England, my good friend Howard K. Smith. So, Howard, won't you come in?
This is the village church at Dedham in the English countryside. This small gray stone church was completed in the year 1492, when America first became a possibility in the experience of Western man. The spire of Dedham Church has appeared on the canvases of Constable, England's greatest landscape painter who lived here. All over England today, villages are celebrating Christmas with Yule logs in many fireplaces, heavy rich puddings on the table, and carols in the churches. Won't all of you over there in Canada and America now join in with the choir of Dedham Church in God Rest Ye Merry Gentlemen?
Lovely, lovely, lovely indeed. One of the truly great traditional English carols. Now, my friends, listen.
Those are the bells of the Church of the Holy Sepulchre in Jerusalem. Tonight, as Christmas casts its magic spell across the world, we'd like to sing again the song which describes a peaceful Holy Land, the Holy Land of countless years of faith. Carolers, let's sing O Little Town of Bethlehem.
O little town of Bethlehem, how still we see thee lie, above thy deep and dreamless sleep, the silent stars go by. Yet in thy dark street shineth the everlasting light. The hopes and fears of all the years are met in thee tonight.
The magic hour of midnight on this Christmas Eve approaches. The little ones are all tucked away with dreams dancing in their heads of reindeer and a sleigh loaded down with toys and goodies. And the grown-ups, I suppose, are dreaming too. Dreaming of the greatest of all messages which the angels gave to the shepherds on that memorable birthday of all birthdays. Peace on earth to men of goodwill. So now then, with Santa Claus on his way, there's not much more we can say. Not much more, except to sing the loveliest and the best known of all Christmas songs, Silent Night.
Silent night, holy night, all is calm, all is bright. Round hearts quake at the sight. Glory stream from heaven afar. Heavenly hosts sing hallelujah. Christ the Savior is born. Christ the Savior is born.
Merry Christmas, everybody. Merry Christmas to you all. And good night.
Happy holiday, happy holiday, while the merry bells keep ringing. Happy holiday to you.
The Damon Runyon Theater. Once again, the Damon Runyon Theater brings you another story by the master storyteller, Damon Runyon. And this one, Dancing Dan's Christmas. And to tell it to you, here is Broadway.
Thanks. The time this story takes place is Christmas, the time when everybody is saying things about peace on earth, goodwill to men. Now, that is a sentiment with which I go along 300%, and I wish that everyone will take it to heart. However, there are certain citizens who never hear of peace, and goodwill is nice, but not absolutely necessary. And how it happens that I almost spend my last Christmas with no will at all is quite a story. It is just 2 days before Christmas that I am sitting in Mindy's enjoying some cheesecake and coffee. My enjoyment is not long-lasting because no sooner is the first bite in my mouth than I am joined by a character named Shotgun Sam, so called for reasons that are plain. He sidles up, eyes me for a couple of seconds, then sits down. The cheesecake has no more flavor and gets even less tasty as Shotgun says as follows.
Broadway. How are you?
First rate. How are you, Shotgun?
Tired. Very tired. Is the cheesecake good?
I just take my first bite.
Oh. I don't see Dancing Dan any place around, do you?
I am not looking for it.
I am.
Oh?
He's as hard to find as warmth in the bookie's heart.
It seems to me that the places to be looking for Dancing Dan would be the nightclubs. He likes to dance.
Mm-hmm. And that is just why I'm looking for him. Because he's such a slick dancer.
You wish to take lessons?
I do not. I wish to give Dancing Dan one. And one he will not forget.
I tell you, I do not see him any place.
I believe you.
Thanks.
Broadway, I do not like the job I gotta do.
Which is?
It seems that Dancing Dan dances too much here lately with the wrong doll.
Muriel O'Neill?
The same. You know about it then?
Well, there is a rumor that Heine Schmitz likes it.
Said rumor is absolutely true. And because it is, Heine wishes Dancing Dan to know it.
Look, Shotgun, what harm is there in dancing with Muriel O'Neill?
None, except that Dancing Dan does it more than once. Now I've got to find him and end his career. You're sure you do not see him?
As sure as I am a foot high, I do not.
Okay. But if you do, you will let me know?
Well, to tell the truth, I do not get to many places which are apt to see Dancing Dan.
But in case you do, Heine would take it as a personal favor if you would tell me. Also, he would take it as a personal affront if you do not.
But, Shotgun,
I also would take it as a personal affront. I have got this job to do for Heine. And I would like to get it over with because I wish to get home for Christmas. I do not like to spend the Christmas season hunting for somebody.
I hear.
Okay. See you now.
Now, When a citizen like Shotgun Sam says he would take it as a personal affront, he means just that. So I make it strictly my business to keep more than somewhat away from the spots where I am likely to see Dancing Dan. Not that I would tip off Shotgun, because I like Dan. But if Shotgun finds out that I see Dan and do not tell him, that is not only the end of my peace on earth, it is the end. So it is on Christmas Eve that I am in Good Time Charlie's, a place Dancing Dan is never likely to show up. The scene is as follows.
This is what is known as Tom and Jerry, Broadway. You like it?
It is very good.
A great thing for Christmas.
Charlie,
yeah?
How does it happen you have no other customers tonight?
Christmas Eve, everybody stays home. I figure I'll close up early and...
Who's that?
It does not make any difference. Let him knock. Now, as I was saying...
Whoever it is wants to come in.
I gotta close up. No more customers tonight.
Maybe it is someone who wants to see you.
Oh, okay. Leave the door on its hinges. I'm coming.
Hi, Charlie.
Dan. Dancing Dan.
Yeah.
Dancing Dan.
Well, Broadway, how are you?
What are you doing here, Dan?
Here? Well, I just thought I'd drop in and wish everybody a Merry Christmas.
Everybody is not here.
And so I see. Hey, Charlie, is that a Tom and Jerry?
Yeah, you wish one?
Yeah, just one. Then I gotta go. Here, store this someplace for me, will you?
Yeah. What is in the package? Iron?
Not by a long shot. Well, Broadway, I haven't seen you for a long time. Where you been keeping yourself?
Safe.
Huh? How's it with you, Charlie?
Pretty good. Here, have a Tom and Jerry on the house.
Thanks. It's good.
Yeah.
Dan, is it safe for you to be out?
Oh, you mean about Heine Schmitz, huh?
That is it.
Well, this is kind of a farewell party, boys. From now on, I'm going the straight and narrow.
You? Why? I mean, this is news.
Yeah. Maybe because I'm in love.
This makes it worse. I presume the doll is Muriel O'Neill.
Mm-hmm. You know, this is Christmas. I figure there's no better time for a guy to cut out his old life and build something new for himself. And that's what I'm going to do. And here's to you, Broadway.
Look, Dan, I'd give 1,000,000 potatoes if I do not see you tonight.
Why?
I just would. You are plenty hot.
Oh, sure. Heine doesn't like me. And when Heine doesn't like somebody, that somebody is in the red. Plenty.
I gotta go, Dan.
Why?
Look, you know I wouldn't give the tip off, Dan, but... Well, Shotgun Sam is looking for you. And when he finds you...
I know.
Broadway is right, Dan. Shotgun will not be particular who is between him and his tug.
Yeah.
You sure nobody sees you come in here?
I don't know.
Holy mackerel. Merry Christmas, everybody.
It's funny, isn't it? Here I am, in love with a doll who loves me. I want to go straight. I want to forget the old life and build up something new for Muriel and me. I gotta do it the hard way.
Yeah, it is funny.
Okay, tell you what. I'll stay just a couple of minutes. Then I'll take the heat off you two by getting out of here. Okay?
Sure, Dan. You are an all right guy.
Broadway, what do you say?
It's Christmas Eve. What else can I say?
Thanks. Well, Merry Christmas, boys.
It is more than a little uncomfortable in Good Time Charlie's, as any minute we are expecting Shotgun Sam to poke in and end the proceedings. But the half hour goes by, and all three of us are beginning to think that everything is all right, when the scene is as follows.
That is somebody at the door.
Yeah, it is.
Dan, there's a back way out of here.
You think they won't have that covered? Open the door, Charlie.
You crazy?
I'm tired of running away. Open the door.
You cannot do this, Dan.
Step back. I'll open it.
No, don't, Dan.
Look, if anything happens, take that package to police headquarters.
Police?
Yeah, there's a note in it. They'll understand. Now get back out of line of the door.
Merry Christmas. Look.
It's Santa Claus. It is somebody who looks like it.
Hey, look.
Hi, Charlie. Hi, Broadway.
Look, it is Ookie.
Yeah, Ookie dressed up like Santa Claus.
Yeah, I'm glad you opened, Charlie. It's pretty cold outside.
Ookie, what is the idea of the Santa Claus suit? And what is the idea of scaring 10 years out of us?
Who? Me?
It's okay, Ookie. You didn't know. But like Broadway asked, what's the idea of the Santa Claus suit?
Well, I'm advertising Fletcher's store. 50 cents an hour I get for walking up and down the streets handing out his cards.
Well, you got yourself a bad cold.
But I'm going to be all right in a couple of minutes. Just gotta get warm first.
Well, you're crazy. You will get pneumonia if you go out again.
Well, I need the dough bad.
You mean you're so broke you gotta walk up and down in that Santa Claus suit for half a check an hour?
How do you like that? Here, Rookie, drink this. A Tom and Jerry.
Yeah? Thanks. That's good. It's nice and hot. But gee, I wish I could stay in here and talk with you guys, but I gotta beat it.
You are figuring on going out in the cold?
Well, I need the dough. I ain't got a cent, and my wife's kinda sick. I'd kinda like to bring her a little present this year.
Okay, how long you have to walk around like that?
About till midnight.
Well, it's only 10 now. You will get soaking wet in the snow in 2 hours.
Oh, I'll stop into the storefronts and places to get warmed up. Well, gotta get going. Thanks for the Tom and Jerry.
Sure. Here. Buy the wife a good present, huh?
Well, gee. Well, thanks, Charlie.
Here, give her one for me, too, huh?
Oh, no, look.
Gotta make it a real Christmas, Ookie.
Well, gee, Dad. Guys, I got a bad cold. Makes me sniffle.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, gotta get going.
Wait, Ookie. You got dough now. Why kill yourself for a measly 4 bits an hour?
Well, it ain't only this job, but Fletch promised me if I'd make good, he'd let me clean up his place overnight, 15 a week. And I need the job. So you see, I gotta do it.
No, you don't.
Oh, yeah, I do. I've been pretty sick the past year. Couldn't hold no job, but this year's gonna be different. I promise Midge, my wife.
Ookie, take off that suit.
Huh? But Dan, I got...
Take it off.
Dan, what's the idea?
I'm not gonna let Ookie walk around with that cold.
Oh, now, please, Dan, I need the job I'm gonna get.
You'll get it, because Fletcher's Santa Claus is gonna walk around.
What are you talking about, Dan?
Me. I'm gonna be Santa Claus.
Now I hear everything.
Oh, Dan.
Go on, start taking it off. You stay here till you get good and warm. Then take a cab back home.
Dan, I won't never forget this.
I won't either.
Well, I'll have it off in a jiffy.
Dan, you are crazy. You'll be walking around the streets. You'll be a setup for shotgun. You got a chance if you keep out of sight.
I'm gonna make this the best Christmas I ever had. It says peace on earth, goodwill towards men. Okay, I'm through running away. If Shotgun wants to rub me out on Christmas Eve, well, let him. I'm not gonna run away anymore.
But what about Muriel? Why do you not think about her?
I am. I'm giving her a Christmas present.
What?
Yeah. Together we don't have to keep running away. By herself, she'll do a lot better. Hurry up with that suit, Ookie.
Well, Dancing Dan puts on Ookie's Santa Claus suit, beard and all. We get a pillow from Good Time Charlie and make Dan look quite a bit like the real thing. And then, just as he is about to leave, the scene is as follows.
Now, who is calling me on the phone?
Answer it, Charlie.
Yeah. I'll be back in just a second.
Dan, for the last time, do not do this.
I'm doing it for Ookie and Muriel.
Oh.
It's funny, isn't it?
Yeah,
Me
well,
being Santa Claus.
I tell you got a chance
No,
if you...
nothing more.
Hey, Broadway.
Yeah, Charlie.
This call is for you.
What? For me? But nobody knows I am here.
Well, you better take this.
Go ahead, Broadway. I'll wait here till you're through.
Yeah. Yeah, okay. Hello? This is Broadway?
Broadway, this is Muriel O'Neill.
What?
Charlie told me Dan's there.
Well, yeah, he is, but how'd you know?
He said he was going to say Merry Christmas to everybody. Broadway, watch him. Don't let him do anything crazy. Please.
What is there I can do?
Talk him out of it.
I tried that for a solid half an
Then
hour.
go with him.
Go with him?
Yes. They might not try anything if there's somebody with him. Don't you see?
I do not.
You're afraid. All right. Hold him there until I get to him. I'll go with him.
Oh, no. Hey, no, please.
Hold him there.
No, look, Miss O'Neill. There is no... Miss O'Neill. Miss O...
Step on him, Broadway. I want to get going.
Yeah, I'm coming.
Friend of yours on the phone?
Uh-huh. A friend of mine.
Yeah, what does the friend have to say, Broadway?
Nothing much. Say, Dan.
Yeah?
I think I will walk a piece with you.
Huh? You're crazy.
I need some air.
Broadway, stay here.
I have to meet somebody in a little while. Come on, Dan.
Okay, I can't stop you. Oh, give me that package, Johnny.
What have you got in there, Dan?
Christmas present for the police. Come on, Broadway.
Well, so I am crazy. But I do not like to see Miss Muriel O'Neill taking a chance. So I figure I will go with Dan, so that if Miss O'Neill comes into Charlie's, he will tell her I am with him. We step out into the street. The snow is sparkling under the lights, and the bells are ringing. It is a beautiful Christmas Eve, and everybody looks happy. But me. I am very sad, and more than somewhat jumpy, because I expect any minute to hear something that is not Christmas chimes. But we walk up the street, and the scene is as follows.
Look, Broadway, did you ever see a night like this?
Truthfully, no.
Fresh snow on the street, people laughing, talking. What makes people laugh like this, Broadway?
I wish I know.
So do I.
Look, Dan, how far do you expect to walk?
Not far, just to Muriel's place.
Muriel's?
Yeah. I want to put something in her grandma's stocking.
I do not know what you are talking about.
Oh, her grandmother hangs up her stocking every year and gets nothing. But this year, she's going to have a good Christmas. Just one before she dies. This year, that stocking's going to get something good in it.
Like what?
See this package? Know what's in it?
If it is at all like the rest of this evening, there is a bomb in it.
No. I made a haul. 50,000 clams worth of jewelry. This is Christmas Eve, and so I figured I'd take it back to the police because I am going straight.
You are walking around in a Santa Claus suit with 50 grand worth of jewelry wrapped up in a newspaper?
It's the only paper I could find.
And I am with you?
Take it easy, Broadway. No one will think of frisking Santa Claus for jewelry. Hey, look.
Where? What? Who?
That Salvation Army doll. She is not doing a good business. Come on.
Dan, please, let us get in off the street. You now have your fun.
I have to pass out these cards for Ookie, sure, but meanwhile, we're going to drum up a little business for the Salvation Army doll.
Merry Christmas. And the last.
Good evening, miss.
Oh, hello there, Santa.
I don't see much folding money in that kettle.
Well, people are too busy to stop, I guess.
Uh-huh. Okay. I will see what I can do.
And please, let us get off the street.
Ah, there's a customer. Hey, you.
Hey, you talking to me?
Uh-huh. You know who I am?
You look like Santa Claus to me.
I am. Now, you be one, huh? Put something in the kettle.
Now, look,
No, you look there. Put something in the kettle.
Well, of course.
And see that what you put in doesn't make a tinkly sound. In fact, no sound at all.
You were the first Santa Claus I ever seen packing around.
I'm different. Go ahead.
Oh, thank you, sir. Thank you.
He will tell the cops then.
Hey, you. Come here.
Well, I put a $5 bill in the kettle.
Good. Here's your fire.
What? I don't understand.
I want the little lady to think that it came from you. Now beat it.
Oh, sure, Santa Claus. Thanks very much.
Now let's proceed. Well, here's my last stop, Broadway.
Look, Dan, forget this business.
Oh, no, I still got Grandma O'Neill's stocking to fill. Come on.
But Shotgun might be watching here.
So, what if he is?
He will get you.
Well, I'm not going to let Shotgun spoil the best Christmas Eve I've had since I was a kid. You coming with me or not?
I can't stand out here on the street.
Well, then come on. She lives on the second floor. Look, Broadway, you stay back of me. No use you getting it, too.
That makes good sense. See anybody?
No.
I do not like this. It is too quiet.
Yeah. Well, here we are. See if the door's locked.
Open.
Uh-huh. Let me go in first.
Be careful, Dan.
I'll go in first and light the light. Nobody here. Nobody but Grandma O'Neill. Sleeping.
I do not like this, Dan. They will come looking for you here.
Oh, let them. Look at her, Broadway. Sleeping in her chair. And that stocking hanging up. Every year she does that. Well, now we're going to make it worth a while.
Look at that.
Yeah. Pretty stuff, ain't it? You know there's a 5,000 reward out for it?
And you're putting it in a stocking?
Well, why not? It's a nice Christmas present, ain't it? Here we go.
It looks awful funny in that stuff. And it's going to take more than a little explanation how it gets there.
It's here. That's the main thing. Now, let's get going again.
Where to now?
Oh, I don't know. But you can go home if you want to.
Yeah. I guess I will.
She's going to believe it's really a Santa Claus. Wait. Somebody came in the door in the hall.
Coming up.
Yeah. Get down, Broadway.
Who's that?
Muriel.
Dan. Oh, Dan. Oh, Dan, you crazy fool.
Oh, now, honey, everything's all right.
Muriel, did you see anybody?
No. But why did you come here?
I had something to do, honey.
Please, Dan, you can't stay here. You can't stay in New York.
What do you want me to do? Run away?
What do you care if that's what it has to be? It's better than being killed.
I don't think so.
Miss O'Neill is right, Dan.
Maybe. Maybe not. Now, look, Muriel. You wait 5 minutes out here in the hall. Then you go in your flat.
But why?
Do like I said.
What are you going to do, Dan?
Me? I got a great idea. I'll do like I said. Broadway, stay with me.
Dan.
Don't come after me.
Broadway, what's he going to do?
Miss O'Neill, I do not know. And even if I do know, I would not understand it. Well, we do like Dan says. We wait 5 minutes, and then we go into Muriel's flat. When she sees the jewelry in the stocking, she makes me tell her what happens, and then she runs out in the street to look for Dan. But he is gone. And it is not until the next day that I hear what happens from Good Time Charlie.
Sure. I am telling it straight, Broadway. Dan goes right to the police and tells them he pulled that jewelry job.
And he leaves the jewelry so Muriel will get the reward?
That is the way I figure it. But she will not accept it. But now he will get a couple of years at least.
Sure he will.
You know, maybe it is better this way. He goes to the clink, but he does not get rubbed out by Shotgun Sam.
Yeah. Yeah, but there is something I do not understand.
What?
Why is it that Muriel does not take the reward money?
Dogs are very funny people sometimes, Broadway. They are very funny people. She says she will wait for him, and they will start all over again.
Yep, like you say, dolls are very funny people. But, Charlie, there is something even funnier.
Yeah? What is that?
I am not able to figure out why Dan is still alive, and why Shotgun Sam is not watching your place here last night. Or having it watched. Like I say, it is hard to figure that out. Anyway, Dan goes to the pen, but he gets a light sentence because he says he is going straight, and besides, he gives himself up. He gets out and marries Miss Muriel O'Neill, and the last I hear, they are living happily. elated that I am once again sitting in Mindy's. It is again Christmas Eve. I look up from my blinzers, and whom do I see but Shotgun Sam? And he was looking at me with a funny look. He comes over and sits down, and the scene is as follows.
Hello, Broadway.
Hello, Shotgun.
It is just about a year since I saw you last, is it not?
Almost exactly.
Mm-hmm. Christmas Eve last year.
Oh, no, you do not see me last Christmas Eve.
I see you come out of Good Time Charlie's. I get a tip that Dancing Dan is headed to there. I get there just as Ookie is going in.
Huh. Ookie?
Yeah. I wait, and then I see you come out with Ookie. I must get a bad steer because Dancing Dan never goes in nor comes out.
It must be a bad steer you get. Well, I guess I will go now.
Mm-hmm. So long.
So long. Oh, and, Merry Christmas, Shotgun.
And so ends the famous Damon Runyon story, Dancing Dan's Christmas. The Damon Runyon Theater, with John Brown as Broadway, is directed by Richard Sandville, and the story is adapted for radio by Russell Hughes. Vern Karstensen is in charge of production. This is a Mayfair production.
This episode from the life of Sherlock Holmes will be transmitted to our men and women overseas by shortwave and through the worldwide facilities of the Armed Forces Radio Service. Petri Wine brings you Basil Rathbone and Nigel Bruce, the new adventures of Sherlock Holmes. The Petri family that took time to bring you good wine invite you to listen to Dr. Watson tell us another exciting adventure he shared with his old friend, that master detective, Sherlock Holmes. Well, right about now, you're probably taking a little breather in your last-minute rush to get everything ready for the big day tomorrow. Children have to be put to bed to wait for Santa Claus, and there's the tree waiting to be decorated, and, a million and one things which must be done before morning. I sure hope you got all your Christmas shopping done. It's pretty hectic rushing off at the last minute to take care of Uncle Charlie or Aunt Bertha or Cousin Sam. But if you must get something, just remember that you can always dash over to your wine merchant and get a bottle or two of Petri wine. Or better yet, a whole case of Petri wine. Petri wine's a swell gift, and I just thought a little last-minute suggestion might be of some help. And now I'm sure our good friend Dr. Watson's waiting for us, so let's go in and join him.
Come in. Ah, there you are, Mr. Bartell.
Oh, say, Doctor, I can see you're going to have yourself quite a Christmas. Big tree in the corner with colored lights on it. Where'd you get those? Table covered with presents? You must be mighty popular.
They aren't all for me, my boy. You see, I'm having a Christmas party tomorrow for my housekeeper's little nieces.
Oh.
I'm going to dress up as Santa Claus for them.
Well, I'm sure you look very convincing in the part. Oh, by the way, Doctor, I brought you a little present.
Ooh, really?
Here it is. I hope you'll like it.
I know, Mr. Bartell. I got one for you, too, here, Summer. Oh, you mustn't open it until tomorrow. Here you are, my boy.
Thanks a lot, Doctor. And now, how's about tonight's story? Last week you told us you'd chosen an adventure with a lot of Christmassy atmosphere.
Yes, Mr. Bartell. My story begins on another Christmas Eve many, many years ago. To be exact, in 1886. At the time the adventure occurred, I must confess I didn't quite understand what was going on myself. In fact, I never did quite make head or tails of it until Holmes took pity on me later and explained the whole thing. But I shan't try to confuse you, Mr. Bartell. I'll tell you the story exactly as it happened.
Right you are, Doctor. Let's go.
Very well. On that Christmas Eve in 86, I was standing in our Baker Street rooms, dressed in the costume of Santa Claus. Holmes, his long, thin fingers pressed together, lay back in an armchair and gazed at me quizzically, while our housekeeper, Mrs. Hudson, stood by the door and...
Mr. Watson, you make a grand Santa Claus.
Doesn't he, Mrs. Hudson? Try the beard on, Watson, old chap.
I'm afraid this is going to be a little uncomfortable. How How does it look?
Oh, you look just like the old man on the Christmas cards, Doctor.
Yes, Watson. It really becomes you. The cheery twinkle of the eyes, the ruddy complexion, and the appropriate girth. What a shame we can't obtain some snow on a sleigh and reindeer for you. However, I'm sure Mrs. Hudson's nieces will be very much impressed.
Oh, they will that, sir. And it's very kind of you, Doctor, to offer to come over to their house with me. With Father in the hospital and my sister at his bedside, it would have been a very miserable Christmas without you.
Oh, I shall enjoy myself, but I think I'll take this beard off before we get there. That's it. Are you ready to leave, Mrs. Hudson?
I am, sir. Will I get a cab?
How far do we have to go?
Oh, Lexington Gardens, number 28. It's just off the Edgware Road, Doctor.
It's not far, but bearing in mind my costume, I suppose we'd better take a cab.
Aye, sir. I'll get one.
Holmes, what are you going to do with yourself? I hate leaving you alone on Christmas Eve.
Oh, don't worry, old chap. I shall spend a profitable evening writing on my new monograph.
Well, what's this one about?
An analysis of teeth marks on pipe stems, with particular regard to indicated character.
Oh, gracious me, how exciting. Well, I must be going.
Don't forget your sack of presents, old fellow.
Great Scott, no.
When you come to distribute them, you'll find that I have the liberty of adding a few trinkets on my own behalf.
Oh, that's very thoughtful of you, Holmes.
Oh, excuse me, Mr. Holmes, but there's a gentleman to see you. Says he's an old friend of yours. Here's his card, sir.
Oh, thank you. Oh, it's Lord Whitcomb. Splendid. Ask him to come up, please, Mrs. Hudson.
All right, sir.
And I hope your party is a great success, Mrs. Hudson.
Thank you, sir. Are you sure you don't want me to stay? Now that you have a visitor.
Oh, no. Indeed, no, Mrs. Hudson. I can show the gentleman out myself. You go off and have a good time.
Thank you, sir.
Oh, I wonder what Lord William wants. Perhaps I should stay
No,
and give you...
please, my dear fellow, certainly not.
What?
You've far more important work to do. Whitcomb probably wants his revenge at chess. Or something equally innocuous. Off with you, my dear fellow, and enjoy yourself.
Oh, I better go. Just the same, I wish you were coming with me. I'll see you later.
I shall be there. Come on up, Whitcomb.
Hello, Holmes. Evening, Watson. You make a very convincing Santa Claus. Are you leaving?
I'm afraid so, Lord Whitcomb.
Well, good night, then.
Good night, sir.
How are you, Holmes? All alone on Christmas Eve, eh?
Yes, Whitcomb, I'm glad you came over to see me.
Mm-hmm.
What's it to be, an evening of chess, or have you unearthed some recent treasure of medieval pottery that we can discuss?
Neither, Holmes. I've come to you in your professional capacity. I need help.
Oh, come now, Whitcomb. Don't tell me that after all these years of quiet friendship, you're going to become a client.
I'm afraid so, Holmes. Though I doubt if my problem will interest you very much. It's hardly up to your rather colourful standards. Care for a cigar?
Oh, thanks. Well, now, my dear Whitcomb, what's your trouble?
Well, I decided this year to have a little Christmas party at my townhouse. I'm quite comfortably off, as you know, and it occurred to me that I have several relatives and friends who are not as well off. I'm having a party for them tonight, Holmes, and I hope you'd attend it, disguised as Santa Claus.
Oh, my dear fellow, I've adopted many disguises in my time, but Father Christmas has never been one of them. Why do you want me to attend your party in disguise in any case? You ashamed of your friendship with a private detective, or do you consider my features more acceptable when buried beneath the depths of a snowy beard?
Oh, my dear Holmes, do take me seriously. I'm not joking, I assure you.
Of course you're not. You want me to attend your party in disguise. Why?
I'm giving some very valuable presents, diamond and onyx cufflinks, platinum and ruby earrings, and such like. And I've wrapped each of the presents in banknotes.
Oh, dear me. Where are these presents now?
In a sack. In charge of my butler. I was going to dress up as Santa Claus and give them out myself, until I got the warning letter. That's why I've come to you.
Warning letter, eh?
Yes. I received it by this evening's post. Listen to this. My dear Lord Whitcomb, your generosity with Christmas presents borders on ostentation. We do not approve. Either we receive £5,000 in sovereigns at Post Restaurant Box 379 by 6 o'clock on Christmas Eve, or I'm afraid your Christmas party will be conspicuous by its absence of presents.
Let me see that note, Whitcomb, will you?
Yes, here you are.
Thanks. Plain paper, torn from a penny notebook. The writing is obviously disguised. By George, yes. Whitcomb, I accept the case. I'll come with you to your party at once, and furthermore, I shall follow your suggestion regarding a disguise. Dressed as Santa Claus, I shall be less likely to attract suspicion.
I'm delighted, Holmes. But what made you decide so suddenly?
This writing, my dear fellow, this writing. Oh, it's in a false hand. I'd know that characteristic M in my dear Whitcomb. I've seen it too often at the beginning of a signature. Moriarty.
Moriarty? Who's he?
Oh, one of the cleverest and most unscrupulous criminals in England. Whitcomb, there's no time to be lost. Let me see now. 6:30. Half an hour beyond the deadline given you in this letter. We must go to your house at once.
This is as far as the cab can take us, Doctor.
Oh, here you are, cabby. Here's 5 shillings for you and a Merry Christmas.
Oh, bless you, Jen, and a Merry Christmas to you, too.
You said you wanted to get into the house through the back way so that you could surprise the children.
Yes, I thought I'd pretend to come down the kitchen chimney.
Oh, you can get to the back of the house by going up the alley here. I'll go in the front door.
Splendid, Mrs. Hudson. Which is the house?
Number 28. It's the third one down the alley, Doctor. I'll have the back window open in no time, and you can slip in without any of the bairns seeing.
Very well. Gloomy little street, I must say. Hello, well, where's the music coming from?
Oh, it's from that temple across the street, Doctor. The disciples of the octagonal square, they call themselves.
What on earth do you suppose that means?
Oh, some newfangled cult. Heathens, most likely.
Hello. I'm not the only Santa Claus abroad tonight. Look at that fellow across the street over there.
Oh, dressed just like yourself, Doctor, and carrying a sack, too. Oh, he's running up the steps to the temple.
Great Scott, he slipped on the ice. Oh, I wonder what his hurry was. Here, my man.
Oh, be careful now, Doctor. Dinna trip yourself.
Here, yourself. Give me a hand.
Thank you, sir. Silly of me, wasn't it?
Oh, we Santa Clauses have to help each other, you know. Up you come. That's it. Whoop. Gracious me.
Doctor, I told you to be careful. Now you've fallen too.
Oh, it's this confounded red coat of mine. It tripped me up.
Did you hurt yourself, sir?
No. I'm all right, I think. How about you, sir?
Well, I'm all right, thanks. Silly of me to run, wasn't it?
Here's your sack, sir.
Well, thank you. Good night and Merry Christmas.
Good night, same to you. Said you? Oh, he went into the temple. Must be a disciple of the octagonal square.
You're sure you're no hurt, Doctor?
No, of course not, Mrs. Hudson. Give me my sack, please. Thank you. Your sister's house is the third one down this alleyway, you say?
I'll hurry and open the back window.
Yes, I'll be waiting for you, Mrs. Hudson. This is rather fun. What a shame Holmes isn't with us. Oh, well, he's probably happier having a good game of chess with Lord Whitcomb.
This is my house, Holmes. Number 39.
39 Branston Square, eh? And dear old Watson is just around the corner in Lexington Gardens and hasn't any idea that I've left Baker Street.
Yes, here you are, cabby.
Thank you, sir. Merry Christmas, sir.
Uh-huh. Isn't that? Carol singers.
Yes, we'll probably have our fill of them before this evening's over.
Good evening, my lord.
Have the guests arrived, Hargreave?
Most of them, sir. They're in the library. You brought another Santa Claus with you, I see, my lord.
Another Santa Claus? What do you mean?
The gentleman arrived 3/4 of an hour ago, sir, dressed as Santa Claus. I took him to your study, my lord, and showed him the sack of presents.
Confound it! He's got here before us. Where's this study?
This way.
I hope I didn't do wrong, my lord. You told me that a gentleman dressed as Santa Claus would be coming here. Dear me. The gentleman appears to have gone.
Yes, and the sack containing the presents with him.
But he can't have left the house, my lord. I've been watching the front door.
Yes, and while you were doing that, he slipped out through the window here. The catch is undone. Hargrave, describe this man.
I can't tell you much about his appearance, I'm afraid, sir. He was dressed as Santa Claus, just like yourself. But I did notice one thing about him, sir.
Oh? What was that?
He lisped, sir. It was quite pronounced.
Of course. Lou the Lisper.
Who on earth is Lou the Lisper?
One of Moriarty's most trusted accomplices. Fortunately, though, I've had news of him lately through my underworld grapevine.
You know where he lives?
He is reputed to have some connections with a new cult that calls themselves the Disciples of the Octagonal Square. Their headquarters are just around the corner from here.
Let's go there at once.
Of course, and Hargrave.
Yes, sir.
Get a message to Scotland Yard as fast as you can. Ask for Inspector Lestrade and tell him to join me at the Temple of the Octagonal Square in Lexington Gardens as soon as possible.
Oh, the children are awful excited, Doctor. I told them you just came down chimney.
I'll slip the beard on and then I'll go into them. There we are.
Will I announce you, Doctor?
Yes, please, Mrs. Hudson.
All right, sir. Now, children, quiet. Santa Claus has come to see you, and he's brought you all presents.
Hello, children.
Hello, Santa Claus. My name's Elsie. Did you bring me a present?
Oh, I did, Elsie. I'll look in my sack in a minute. And, what's your name, young man?
Herbert, they call me Bertie. Did you come down the chimney?
Yes, Bertie.
I bet you had a time doing it. You're so fat.
Oh, don't be rude, Bertie. Santa Claus won't give you your present.
And what's your name, little man?
Lionel. I've got a cold.
Yes, I see you have. Well, children, gather round me and I'll see what present I got for you.
Let me see, Bertie.
The first present is for... Oh, I'll be right. It says for Her Grace, the Dowager Duchess of Bewley.
Oh, do you suppose Mr. Holmes has been playing a practical joke on you, Doctor?
I suppose so. Well, I can't see the point myself. But he did say that he'd added a few trinkets of his own.
I want my present.
Then supposing you take this, Elsa.
Ooh, thank you.
And this one is marked for the Reverend Arthur Carter. I knew what Holmes was up to. Here you are, Bertie.
Cool, thanks.
And this is for you, Arnold, because you've been a good little boy.
It isn't very big, is it? I wanted the dog.
Oh, wanted the dog. Well, I'll bring you a dog next year, Arnold.
Dr. Watson.
Yes?
Oh, look at the wrapping on these presents, Doctor. They're £20 notes.
It's cut.
Oh, cool. Look what I got.
Now, let me see. Why, cufflinks and diamond and onyx ones, unless I'm very much mistaken.
I got some pretty earrings. Look how they sparkle.
Let me see, Elsie. Good gracious, I swear that these are platinum and rubies. What in thunder's going on?
I want my earrings back. Give me back mine, too.
Well, here you are,
Dr. Watson, what do you suppose has happened?
I don't know, Mrs. Hudson. Perhaps my toys are still at the bottom of the sack. I can't understand it. I wish Holmes were here instead of dozing in front of our fire in Baker Street.
Where are you, Holmes? Here by the bed. This is the only room in the temple that gives any sign of having been lived in. I think our bird has been here, but I'm afraid he's alone. If Inspector Lestrade will get here, strike a match, will you, Whitcomb? Right. Here's a candle on the table. Oh, just as I feared. Look on the bed. A red coat and a beard. Yes, Lou the Lisper has discarded his disguise and gone, and with him, I'm afraid, your valuable... Oh, wait a minute. Here's a sack lying on the floor. Oh, no, this isn't mine. Look what's in it. A toy dog, large box of chocolates, little girl's doll. What in thunder? Well, this is Watson's sack. But how on earth could Lou the Lisper have got hold of it? Somewhere, somehow, he and Watson must have made an accidental change, and Lou the Lisper is no doubt trying to track Watson down at this very moment. He must work fast, Whitcomb, or my friend's life and those of Mrs. Hudson and her relatives won't be worth a tinker's damn.
Doctor, you can't break your story there.
Oh, yes, I can, my boy. Before I go on, I thought we'd have a glass of port just to freshen us up.
Oh, well, that's something different. Of course. Instead of talking about port, as I sometimes do, it'll be nice to drink some for change.
There you are, my boy, and a Merry Christmas to you.
The same to you. And now, what happened next, Doctor? We left you at the children's Christmas party, and Sherlock Holmes and Lord Whittaker around the corner at the Temple of the Octagonal Square.
Yes, Mr. Bartell, although at the time, of course, I had no idea what was going on. There I was, cheerfully handing out gifts worth, well, if not a king's, at least a baronet's ransom. While outside the Temple of the Octagonal Square, Holmes and Lord Whittaker were talking to Inspector Lestrade.
Yeah, seems to me, Lord Whittaker, you'd have been wiser to get in touch with Scotland Yard when you first got the warning note. We could have nabbed him when he came to your house and pinched the sack of presents.
Lestrade, this is no time for post-mortems. We've got to reach Lou the Lisper before he finds Dr. Watson.
Suppose he can do that, Holmes?
It wouldn't be difficult. Lou the Lisper is nearly as clever as his master, Professor Moriarty. The chances are that you were followed when you came to Baker Street tonight, Whittingham. And it's equally likely that Watson and Mrs. Hudson were followed as they left it. Moriarty seldom leaves anything to chance.
Well, where did Dr. Watson go tonight?
Lexington Gardens. It's just around the corner from here.
Well, then let's go there at once.
Frighten our quarry away? No, Lestrade. We must use a little subtlety. Now, Lou the Lisper wishes to recover that sack of presents from Watson. How would he invade the party with the least possible trouble?
By dressing up as Santa Claus again?
No, I think he's overplayed that role for one evening.
Well, then how would he try to get in, Mr. Holmes?
Oh, come now, Lestrade. What group of people can enter any house on Christmas Eve without invitation and without creating suspicion?
The carols.
Exactly, my dear fellow. I shouldn't be at all surprised if at this very moment Lou the Lisper and some of his gang are singing carols outside 28 Lexington Gardens.
Well, then what are we going to do?
Form a rival choral society. How many of your men did you bring with you?
3. The sergeant and 2 constables.
Wearing greatcoats?
Yes, Mr. Holmes. But why?
They can hide their helmets and pretend to be singers. Come on. Let's go over there, and while we're walking, we'll rehearse our carols. We must appear reasonably convincing. Sound your A, Lestrade. Sound your A.
Taking for a ride at your back, Santa Claus?
No, you mustn't make Santa Claus too tired, lad.
Oh, that's all right, Mrs. Hudson. Hop on, Lal, hop on.
Oh, they sing carols outside the door.
Isn't that
Can't
nice?
they come inside and sing for us, Santa
Yes,
Claus?
of course they can. Ask them to come in, Mrs. Hudson, will you?
All right, sir.
Oh, come on, let me get on your back, too.
Oh, now, take it easy. Oh, there we go.
I want to see your reindeer, Santa.
See my reindeer? Oh, they're up on the roof.
I'll climb up and see them.
No, you mustn't do that. They're asleep. Oh, here are the carol singers. Off you get, children. There we go. That's it. Now, good evening, gentlemen.
Good evening, and Merry Christmas.
Would you like to sing some carols for the children? After that, I'm sure you'd like a drop of something to warm you up.
Well, thank you, sir. We should like that.
Haven't I let you before somewhere, my men?
No, sir, I'm sure you haven't. Come on, man, let's sing Good King Wenceslas.
Good King Wenceslas looked out on the feast of Stephen.
Well, here we are outside the house, Mr. Holmes. Now what?
Shh. Listen. Uh-huh. Lou the Lisper and his men are already there.
Are we going in now?
In a moment. Now, men, you will have your truncheons handy?
Yes, Mr. Holmes, we're ready.
Splendid. Now, remember, when we're inside and I yell Merry Christmas at the top of my voice, you bring out your truncheons and get Lou the Lisper and his gang out of there as quickly as possible. Don't arrest them until you get them outside again, Lestrade. I don't want to frighten the children.
Right you are, Mr. Holmes. We're ready. Just give us the word and we'll go in and...
Oh, that was very nice singing. Now, how about something to warm you all up?
That won't be necessary, Dr. Watson. See to the door, Sammy. Now all of you stay right where you are.
Who are you? What do you think you're up to?
Please don't be difficult, Doctor. All I want is the jewels out of my sack that you stole from me tonight. If you try and stop me, I shall have to hurt you.
Why do you talk so funny? You got a cold like me?
Shut up. Now, Doctor, where are the jewels? Oh, curse it! There are some more carol singers outside.
I'll tell them to go away, Lou.
No, better let them come in. If we don't, they might get suspicious.
All right, Lou. Suppose you know what you're up to.
Now, no tricks, Doctor. If you try and give an alarm, I shall have to get rough with you.
I don't mind about that, but just remember that there are children present.
Oh, yeah, Manny. You're all here before you, eh? What you say, we all join a little carol for the nippers, eh?
All right. What do you want to sing?
Up the old angels sing, eh?
All right. Come on, men. Let's sing.
Up the old angels sing, glory to the newborn King.
Merry Christmas!
Dr. Watson, what's happening? They're all hitting each other with truncheons.
Here, you can't do that. They're all going away. They're dragging each other out. Hey, come back here.
Oh, terrible.
Holmes, what in thunder's going on?
I'll explain it to you later, old chap. Lestrade!
Yes, Mr. Holmes?
Take them to Scotland Yard and prefer charges. I'll be over in a little while and give evidence.
Right you are, sir. Too bad we didn't catch Professor Moriarty, too.
Well, at least we have some of his cohorts. I'll see you later, Lestrade.
I wish I knew what was going on here. Is Moriarty mixed up in this business?
Yes, Watson. I'll tell you all about it as soon as I've straightened this thing out. Now, Whitcomb.
Yes, Holmes.
The 20-pound notes that you used as wrapping for your gifts seem to have been scattered all over the house. Do you want me to recover them, too?
No. From what you've told me of the children, I think their parents could use the money much more profitably than my relatives. In any case, I can replace it.
A very generous Christmas gift. Well, children, did you enjoy the little game we staged for you?
It was enough fun.
Yes, I nearly died laughing when they started hitting each other.
I'm glad you enjoyed it, children. And now I want you to show me the presents you received.
I got these pretty earrings.
Oh, they were a part of the game, too. A nice little girl like you doesn't want silly earrings, Elsie. Here's a beautiful doll for you.
Ooh, her eyes open and shut and everything.
And what did you get, my little man?
These.
Oh, cufflinks. Good gracious, who wants cufflinks when he can have a clockwork train? You want to exchange?
Rain, Lord love a duck, yes.
I wanted the dog.
There's one for you, Lionel. A nice woolly dog.
Oh, good.
And here's a
Lovely.
Here you are, children. Here's a nice big box of chocolates, too. You can all share them.
Oh, Lummy, what a night. Ain't had as much fun since Granny got her finger stuck in a plug-o.
I still don't understand what's going on, Holmes, but I must say this has all the earmarks of being a happy Christmas.
Yes, oh. Mrs. Hudson.
Hi, Mr. Holmes.
How's the turkey coming along?
Oh, it'll be ready in a few minutes, Mr. Holmes.
Splendid. And while we're waiting, perhaps the children will oblige with something we haven't heard so far this evening.
Yes, I know what you mean. A Christmas carol that really sounds convincing. How about it, children?
All right, sir. Come on, Elsie. Come on, Lionel.
Silent night, holy night, all is calm, all is bright, round yon virgin mother and child, holy infants of tender and mild, sleep in heavenly peace, sleep in
Well, Doctor, that was really a swell story. On a Christmas Eve like this, do you ever wish you were back in Baker Street celebrating Christmas there?
At times, yes, but actually, Mr. Bartell, I'm very happy right here in my little home. There on the table is a beautiful little Christmas tree. There's a fine fire in my fireplace. My two dogs, Monty and Willie, are sleeping peacefully at my feet. And best of it all, I've got the love of every child in the neighborhood. Yes, I got a great deal this Christmas Eve. Lots to be thankful for. And what with the troubles of the world on their way to being settled, it looks as if this is the brightest Christmas that I've ever had.
Well, that's how I feel about it, too, Doctor.
I hope that all our friends listening in are just as happy this Christmas Eve as we are. And speaking not only for myself, but I know for all of us and for the Petrie family, too, we wish every one of you a happy Christmas from the bottom of our hearts. God rest ye merry, gentlemen.
Well, Doctor, what's the next Monday is New Year's Eve. What story do you plan to tell us?
One that I think you will find extremely appropriate, Mr. Bartell. It takes place in a Scottish castle near Edinburgh on a New Year's Eve in 1900 and concerns a pair of lovers, an elderly baronet, and a strange iron box that proved to be more than worth its weight in gold.
Tonight's Sherlock Holmes adventure was written by Dennis Green and Anthony Boucher and was suggested by an incident in the Sir Arthur Conan Doyle story, The Adventure of the Blue Carbuncle. Music is by Dean Fossler. Mr. Rathbone appears through the courtesy of Metro-Goldwyn-Mayer, and Mr. Bruce through the courtesy of Universal Pictures, where they are now starring in the Sherlock Holmes series. The Petrie Wine Company of San Francisco, California, invites you to tune in again next week, same time, same station. Sherlock Holmes comes to you from our Hollywood studios. This is Harry Bartell saying goodnight for the Petrie family. For a solid hour of exciting mystery dramas, listen every Monday on most of these same stations at 8 o'clock to Michael Shayne, followed immediately by Sherlock Holmes. This is the Mutual Broadcasting System.
Hollywood, California, Monday, June 8th. The Lux Radio Theater, presented from its new home on Hollywood Boulevard, Hollywood, California. Lux presents Hollywood. Such great personalities as William Powell, Myrna Loy, W.S. Van Dyke, Theda Bara, James Seymour, Minna Gamble, Porter Hall, and many others will take part in this presentation sent to you by the makers of Lux Toilet Soap, the beauty soap of the stars. Appearing before a distinguished Hollywood audience, Mr. Powell, Miss Loy, and a cast of 18 great players present the play that has broken box office records from coast to coast, The Thin Man. And as producer tonight, we present the director who did The Thin Man on the screen, together with such triumphs as Naughty Marietta, Trader Horn, Rose Marie, I Live My Life, and countless other smash hit pictures. Mr. W.S. Van Dyke. Mr. Van Dyke.
Hello, everybody. Well, it's a great scene at the Lux Radio Theater tonight. In our audience, we have Betty Davis, Jimmy and Lucille Gleason, Bob Armstrong, Ole Olson of Olson and Johnson, Stu Irwin, Jimmy Starr, famous communist, Evelyn Venable, Mr. and Mrs. Leon Schlesinger. Maybe it would interest you on a little inside information on the show we're doing tonight, The Thin Man, and about William Powell and Myrna Loy, who are going to do it for you. As you know, The Thin Man was a best-selling novel by Dashiell Hammett. Hunt Stromberg, down at the studio, MGM, got a hold of it and brought it to me. Woody said, if you'll make this picture, I'll buy the story. Well, I read it, and while it was a good enough mystery story, there was something else about the book that struck me. Here was something new and fresh and very charming. A romance between a man and his wife. It's a story of a couple of kids that understood each other and had a blessed confidence in each other. Beneath all the casualness and all the wisecracking, there's a lovely, wholesome relationship. Something really deep and sweet and inspiring. Well, we decided to make the picture. Albert Hackett and Francis Goodrich wrote a swell script. William Powell and Myrna Loy played the parts. And how? They played them beautifully, because Powell was just Powell and Loy was just Loy. Both of them wisecracking all the time and clowning right through the picture. I suppose you know that plenty of motion pictures take from 2 months to a year to shoot. We did The Thin Man in 16 days, retakes and all. Of course, it wasn't a pretentious picture. We didn't make it as one. I hate epics. But it is evident that people liked it. It has been very interesting to study out how they could tell this story on the radio. Bill and Myrna have had a lot of fun getting it ready for you, just as they did making the picture. And from the original story, from the original motion picture cast, we have, and are fortunate in having, Minna Gamble, Porter Hall, William Henry, and Thomas Jackson here tonight. So here we go, with William Powell and Nick Charles, and Myrna Loy as Nora in The Thin Man. Here they come, Bill Powell and Myrna Loy. We're in a fashionable cafe, Montmartre, New York City. It's Christmas Eve, and the well-appointed dining room is filling rapidly. From the bar comes a good-looking young fellow of about 35, tall, casual, and worldly wise. He's Nick Charles, the well-known private detective, played by William Powell. And he's waiting for his charming wife, Nora, played by Myrna Loy. As he takes his place at the table, a young girl on the other side of the room recognizes him and hurries over.
I beg your pardon. Aren't you Mr. Nick Charles, the detective?
Yes, I'm Nick Charles.
I thought I recognized you. My name is Dorothy Winans.
Oh, yes? How do you do?
Do you mind if I sit down for a moment?
No, but I'm expecting my wife in a few minutes. You don't mind explaining your presence to her?
Oh, of course. That's my fiancé over there at the other table.
Oh, well, that makes everything all right, doesn't it? Sit down.
Thank you.
Your name is,
Dorothy Winans. I'm Clyde Winans' daughter.
Clyde Winans. Oh, yes, of course. Your father was having some trouble about one of his inventions a few years ago. I handled the case for him.
I know. That's why I want to speak to you now.
Oh. Well, I'm not practicing anymore, Miss Wynant. You see, I've retired.
Please, Mr. Charles, I need you.
Oh. What seems to be the trouble?
It's Dad. He went away about 3 months ago, and I haven't heard from him. Not a word. I'm worried sick.
Oh, I wouldn't if I were you. After all, he's an inventor. He gets an idea he wants to work on. It's only natural that he should hide away somewhere. He's done it before.
Yes, but never for 3 months.
Did you see him before he left?
No. Mr. Macaulay was the only one he spoke to. Well, Macaulay and Julia Wolfe. She's Dad's secretary.
Julia Wolfe. Yes, I believe I've met her. Macaulay is your father's lawyer, isn't he?
Yes.
His lawyer and his secretary both speak to him before he leaves, but no one knows where he went.
He wouldn't tell them.
What about your mother? He wouldn't tell her either?
No. Mother and Dad aren't... They haven't seen each other for some time.
Oh, I see. Well, I don't know just what I can do for you. Why don't you speak to Macaulay? Maybe he's heard from your father and forgotten to let you know.
Oh, well, I'll call him now.
That's a girl. Let me know how it turns out, will you?
Of course. I'll be back in a few minutes.
I'll be here.
Madam, you can't bring that dog in here. Dogs aren't allowed. I'm sorry, madam.
I'll be here, Aster. Aster, come here, boy. Here. Down, boy.
Madam,
down.
it isn't only your dog. We allowed everyone.
Oh, here you are.
Aster. Quiet, Aster. Quiet. Slow, Nora. I hear you brought the dog.
I didn't bring him. He brought me. I think the doorman's mad, miss.
Madam, I'm afraid you'll have to take the dog outside.
It's all right, Joe. It's my dog and my wife.
You might have mentioned me first.
But, Mr. Charles, are you sure that...
Of course I'm sure. He's well trained. He'll behave himself.
Nobody might bite someone.
No. Only me, Joe. He only bites me.
Yes, he's fussy about what he eats.
Go ahead, Joe. I'll be responsible for him.
Very well, sir. If you say so, sir.
There you are, my dear. See what an influential husband you've got?
You do stand in with doormen. Mr. Charles.
Oh, yes, Dorothy?
May I introduce my fiancé, Andy Reed, Mr. Charles?
How do you do?
How do you do, sir?
Any luck, Dorothy?
Yes, he's just around the corner.
Your father?
No, Mr. Macaulay.
We're going to see him now.
Oh, fine.
Nick?
Yes, my dear? Oh, I beg your pardon. Miss Wynant, Mr. Reed, my wife.
How do you do? I'm sorry we have to rush, but you'll excuse us, Mr. Charles. Of course.
We're to Normandy for a couple of weeks. Why don't you drop around?
Thanks, we will. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Goodbye, sir. Goodbye, Mrs. Charles.
Goodbye. Pretty girl.
You like blondes?
You got type?
Only you, darling. Lanky brunettes with wicked jaws.
Who is she?
Dorothy Wynant, daughter of Clyde Wynant. I worked on a case for her father. Some nut wanted to kill him.
Charming. What's the matter now?
Wynant disappeared. Dorothy's afraid something happened to him.
Has anything happened to him?
My darling wife. How do I know? Funny, though. That secretary of his ought to know something.
Secretaries usually do. Who is she?
Julia Wolfe. Smart girl, Julia. I always suspected she had some kind of hold on Wynant. That's why he kept her on.
Maybe you ought to give her a ring.
What for?
Oh, just to say hello.
Maybe.
Want a nickel?
No, I've got one. I'll be right back. Hello? I want Skylar, 40962. No, Skylar. That's right, 4.
Hello? Yes, Julie Wolfe speaking. Who? Oh, hello, Mr. Charles. Yes? What was it you wanted to... Oh, no, I don't. He didn't tell me. Not a word. I'm sorry. Well, that's all right. Goodbye. Morelli.
Coming. Well, who was that?
Nick Charles.
The detective?
He wanted to know where Wynant was.
Oh, yeah? Why?
He didn't say.
Did anyone see Wynant come here that night? The night you and him had the scrap?
I don't know.
Oh, no? Well, I guess I'll scram.
Wait a minute, Morelli. Where are you going?
Oh, taking a little stroll, that's all. If Nick Charles is going to pop up around here, I want to be far away when he does.
Ah, don't be a fool, Morelli.
Fool, huh? Say, listen, sister, I got a record 9 itching to come face to face with no dick.
Sit down, Morelli. You need money, don't you?
Yeah. What about it? You got some?
Plenty. I'm Wynant's secretary.
Oh, yeah? What do you mean by that?
Wouldn't you like to know?
Your friend Pierre serves good dinners, Nick.
All right.
You still didn't tell me what Julia Wolf had to say.
Nothing. She didn't know where he was, that's all. Finished?
Finished.
Let's get out. We'll grab a cab and get back to the hotel.
Ready and willing. Where's my purse? Come on, Esther.
Joe, call me cab.
Hello? Hello? Esther, be quiet. Stop it. Hello? Yes? Who is it? Oh, he is. I see. Thank you. Oh, Nick,
Yeah?
it's Mr. McCauley. He's on his way up.
Call him. What would he want?
Isn't he Wynant's lawyer?
Yeah?
Maybe he's got some news.
Well, he ought... Say, you're worrying an awful lot about this business. Forget it.
I'll open it. I'm Mrs. Charles. Come in with me.
Hello, McCauley.
Well, hello, Charles. Well, how are you?
Fine. Sit down.
Thanks. Dorothy told me you were here. I took the liberty of coming to see you.
Of course.
Charles, what's Mimi up to?
Mimi? Oh, Dorothy's mother. Does she have to be up to something?
She usually is, trying one way or another to get money out of Wynant. I wanted to find out if you were, sleuthing for her.
I haven't been a detective 4 years.
Oh, you don't say.
Oh, my wife's father died and left her a lumber mill, a narrow gauge railroad, and, a couple of other things. I'm looking after them.
I see.
What's all the fuss about? Is Wynant in hiding?
Well, you know as much about it as I do. I haven't seen him in 3 months. He sends word through Julia Wolf when he wants money. I give it to her, and she gives it to him.
Mine? Hello? Oh, just a moment, please. It's for you, Mr. McCauley. Your office.
Oh, thank you. Hello? What? He is? Well, where is he? Oh, very well. Well, he's back in town.
Mr. Wynant?
Yes, thank heaven. He's waiting for me now. Well, I've got to rush. I'll tell you, it's no joke working for a man like that. Oh, goodbye, Mr. Charles. Goodbye, Charles.
Hello?
Merry Christmas.
Same to you. $11:30. Almost Christmas, darling.
If that's a hint, you can drop it. You get your present at breakfast, not a minute before.
See? You know, Nick, I've been thinking. It's funny the way Wynant popped up all of a sudden.
Yes. Wasn't it?
You think there's anything behind it?
Why should there be?
Well, I don't know. It just strikes me as being funny, that's all. You're nearer than I am, darling.
Hello? Speaking. Oh, hello, Dorothy. What? What? When? Well, yes, of course I'll be here.
What is it, darling? Darling, what is it?
Julia Wolf has just been murdered.
You are listening to William Powell and Myrna Loy in the story of The Thin Man from the stage of the Lux Radio Theater in Hollywood Boulevard. Before we go on with the story of Nick and Nora, we want to take you on a quick tour of Hollywood.
Lobby of the Hotel Roosevelt, where stars and newcomers gather. A young actress just breaking into pictures is telling her friend of her success.
Well, there's one thing. I've got one of the best managers in Hollywood, and that means a lot. Oh, but the rules he's laid down for me. Gee, what do you mean, rules? Well, you'd think I was going into training for the Olympics. I've got to lose 5 pounds. I've got to take lessons in singing and diction, and of course my complexion's got to be perfect. I've got to be more careful than ever not to get little blemishes or enlarged pores and what they call cosmetic skin. Thank goodness I know enough to use Lux toilet soap regularly, the way everybody around here does.
9 out of 10 beautiful Hollywood screen stars use Lux toilet soap, and have for years. Here's what the famous Claudette Colbert has to say. When I tell people how simple my complexion care is, they always seem surprised. I use cosmetics, of course, but I always use Lux toilet soap to guard against cosmetic skin. It's easy to keep skin lovely, my way.
And now, on with the show of the Thin Man. An hour has gone by since Nick heard about the murder of Julia Wolfe. In the living room of their suite at the hotel, Nick and Nora are listening to the radio. A news reporter is broadcasting the latest developments of the case.
And here's the latest news of the Julia Wolfe murder. The police have found out that the beautiful blonde secretary was a gangster's girl and is spreading the dragnet for one Joe Morelli, said to be hiding out somewhere in the city. In Paris today, the Chamber of Deputies...
Never mind the Chamber of Deputies. Joe Morelli, that's what I want to know about. Well, did you get any more information out of headquarters?
As much as they had. Julia Wolfe was shot and killed about 9 or 9:30. Body discovered on the floor of a living room a little after 11.
Who discovered it?
That'll surprise you. Mimi Wynant.
Dorothy's mother?
Right.
What was she doing there?
I don't know.
Where's Clyde Wynant?
Still missing.
Missing? But Macaulay was going to see him. They had an appointment.
When I spoke to Macaulay, Wynant never showed up. Nobody knows where he is.
It's going to be pretty tough on Dorothy, isn't it?
Meaning what?
Meaning that it looks as if Clyde Wynant skipped one appointment in order to keep another with Julia Wolfe.
You think he killed her?
Oh, it's just a guess. You're the detective around here, darling.
Oh, that's Dorothy. She said you wanted to see me. There, come in, Dorothy.
Thank you. Is anyone here?
That's Nora. Have a seat.
Oh. Hello, Dorothy. I'm sorry for breaking in on you like this. Oh, that's all right. We're used to it.
Anything wrong?
Julia Wolfe is dead.
Yes, we know that.
Here's the gun she was shot with.
What are you trying to tell me? That you did it?
Yes. I hated her. She kept me from seeing my father. I went down there to ask her where he was. She wouldn't tell me. I shot her.
Where did you hit her?
Why, in the heart.
Pretty good shot you are. What did she do?
She fell down.
Did she make any sound? Didn't scream?
I don't know.
Which way did she fall?
She fell over backwards.
Oh, yes? People fall toward a shot, you know, not back from it. I knew you were lying.
Oh.
All right, come on, now, brace up. Where did you get this gun?
I bought it in a pawn shop.
I thought so. Why did you say you did it? Whom are you trying to shield?
Oh, please, don't ask me.
You got to tell me.
Nick, let me handle this, will you? Dorothy, look at me. Nick is trying to help you. Why don't you help him? You were trying to shield your mother, weren't you?
No.
Your father, then. Dorothy.
Yes. My father.
Why do you think he did it?
Mother was the first one to find Julia Wolfe. She saw something in Julia's hand and she took it.
What was it?
A watch chain. It belonged to my father.
So you think your father did it?
I don't know.
Did your mother turn the chain over to the police?
No, she kept it. She didn't tell them anything about it.
But she showed it to you?
Yes.
Why did your mother go to Julia Wolfe's apartment in the first place?
She went to us for money.
Oh, money again, huh? Yes? Oh, have them come up, please.
Who is it?
Dorothy, I wonder if you'd mind waiting in the bedroom.
Of course.
It'll be only a minute.
Well, Nick?
It's Mimi Wynant.
Alone?
She's never alone. Dorothy's brother is with her. Screwy college kid. And, some guy by the name of Chris Jorgensen.
Jorgensen? Who's he?
Macaulay told me about him. A hanger-on type. I think he's after Mimi's dough.
But she hasn't any.
Maybe that's why she wanted to get some from Julia. I'll take it. Hello.
Nick, how are you?
Fine. Come in, Mimi.
Thank you, Nick. This is my son, Gilbert.
How are you? Very well, thank you.
And Mr. Chris Jorgensen. He's an old friend of mine.
How do you do? How do you do? Sit down. Sit down. My wife.
How do you do?
Mrs. Wynant, Gilbert Wynant, and Mr. Jorgensen.
How do you do?
Well, Mimi?
Nick, I've never been in such a state in my life. You know, of course, that I was the one who found Julia Wolfe.
So we've heard.
Oh, my dear, it was terrible. I walked in and there she was, lying dead on the floor.
I meant to ask you, Mother, was there much blood?
Gilbert, don't be so morbid.
But I'm interested in murders. You know, Mr. Charles, I formed a theory about this one already.
That's so.
In my opinion, the man who did it...
Gilbert, be quiet. You don't know anything about it.
Oh, but I do.
Be quiet.
You were saying, Mrs. Wynant?
About finding Julia Wolfe. I was simply petrified, and such a mystery. Clyde Wynant's crazy, absolutely crazy to stay away at a time like this. No wonder the police think he had something to do with it.
What do you think?
Oh, I know he didn't, but I wish I could find him. I have something very important to tell him. And Macaulay won't help at all. He thinks I just want money.
Well, don't you?
Oh, Nick, you're always teasing.
Mrs. Wyman, were you alone when you found Julia Wolf?
Why, of course I was.
Wasn't Mr. Jorgensen with you?
I? Certainly not. I don't know anything about it. The first word I had that Julia Wolf was dead was when Mrs. Wyman called me at my club.
Oh, she called you?
Yes.
Why?
I beg your pardon.
Oh, let's not even talk about it. The thing to do is to find Clyde. And that's what I've come to you for, Nick. You will help me find him, won't you?
I'm afraid I can't, Mimi.
Oh, Nick, please.
Now, Mimi, there are 1,000 detectives in New York. Hire one of them.
But Clyde knows you. All you have to do is to get in touch with him and tell him that Mimi says everything is all right, but that I've got to see him.
I tell you again, I don't want any part of it.
Is that final?
Final?
Well, if that's the way you feel.
You turn up. You just help all you can. Give the police every possible assistance.
What do you mean by that?
Oh, nothing in particular.
Oh. Well, we'll say good night.
Good night. I'm sorry I can't help you, Mimi.
Hello. Is this the Normandy Hotel? I want to speak to Mr. Charles. Yeah, Nick Charles. Hello, Mr. Charles? Say, I'm sorry I woke you up. But, Mr. Charles, I'd like to lay a proposition before you. It's about the murder of Julia Wolf. Well, what's the difference who I am? Oh, wait a minute. All right. Wait a minute. Don't hang up. I'll tell you who I am. But you got to keep it under your hat. I'm Al Nunheim. Yeah, Nunheim. Now listen, I know who murdered Julia Wolf, see? Sure I do. And I'll spill it to you for $5,000. I'll tell you how I know. Because I was outside of her apartment when she was shot. And I saw the one who did it. And I'll spill it to you when I get... Hey, wait a minute. Hey, I can't talk now. I'll call you again.
Hello? Hello? Hello, are you still there? Hello? Well, what the...
Now what, darling?
I don't know. Some crank, I guess. He hung up. And you better get back to bed and get some sleep.
Nick, are you asleep?
Yes.
Good. I want to talk to you.
That's jolly.
Don't you think you'd like to go back to detecting once in a while just for the fun of it?
Can't you get to sleep?
No. Everybody says you were a grand detective.
They were kidding you.
I'd like to see you work.
Tomorrow I'll buy you a whole lot of detective stories.
Oh, that poor girl's in an awful spot.
There's nothing I can do to help her.
She thinks you can. It wouldn't hurt you to find out if you could, would it?
Darling, my guess is that Wynant killed Julia and Dorothy knows it. And the police will catch him without my help. Now, please put out the light. I'm tired.
Oh, all right. But I'm mad at you.
Uh-huh.
Nick,
Uh-huh.
did you hear a knock?
Uh-huh.
Shut up, Astor. You want to answer it, Nick?
Oh, good Lord.
All right, stay in bed. I'll do it myself. Well?
Mr. Charles here.
Yes?
I got to talk to him right away.
What about?
What's going on? What's going on?
There's someone to see you, Nick.
That's great. I was afraid I'd have to go to sleep. Come in.
Yeah.
How about a chair, Mr.
Stay where you are, both of you. I got you covered, so don't move.
A stick-up.
No, it ain't a stick-up. But I got to talk to you, Mr. Charles. I want you to tell me something, and I want you to give it to me straight. You get me?
Do you mind putting that gun down? My wife doesn't care, but I'm a very nervous person. Thank you. All right, shoot. What's on your mind?
You don't need to tell me you're tough. I heard about you. I'm Joe Morelli.
I've never heard about you.
I didn't bump off Julia.
All right, you didn't.
I haven't seen her in 3 months. We were all washed up.
Why tell me?
Well, I wouldn't have any reason to hurt her. She was always on the up and up with me. But that dirty little rat, Nunheim...
Well, he got sore because she liked me and hated him. So he put the finger on me.
That's all very swell, brother, only you're peddling your fish in the wrong market. I've had nothing to do with it.
Now, listen. The boys used to say that you were okay, a square guy. Now, that's why I'm here. What's the law doing to me? Do they think I did it? Or is it just something else to pin on me?
I'd tell you if I knew, but I'm not in on this. Ask the police.
Yeah, that'd be very smart. The boys would love to have me come in and ask questions. They'd like it right down to the end of their blackjacks. Now, I came to you on the level. The boys say you're on the level. Be on the level.
I'm on the level. If I knew anything, I'd be...
Who's that?
I don't know. This is your party.
Open up. Open up. This is the police. The police? Dirty two-timer.
Look out, Nora.
Oh!
Give me that gun.
You rat, I'll show you.
Drop that gun. Drop it.
You'll double cross me, will you?
Come on, drop it. Give it to me. Give me the gun.
Grab it. Grab it. Let me go. Let me go, I said. I'll take that gun.
Thanks, officer. You almost had me.
Get some water, Joe.
Nora. Are you all right, Nora?
I'm Inspector Gill of the homicide squad.
You're in a good place, Inspector.
Who's that woman on the floor?
My wife.
This guy shoot her?
No, he tried to shoot me. I socked her on the jaw to get her out of the line of fire. I guess I hit her too hard. Nora.
Oh.
Look at me, Nora. Are you all right, darling?
Oh. You darn fool. You didn't have to knock me out. I knew you'd take him, but I wanted to see you do it.
She's all right.
Okay, Slattery. Take Morelli downstairs.
Come on,
Don't push. I said don't.
How'd you people have to pop in, Inspector?
We hear this is getting to be a sort of a meeting place for the Winans family. So we figured we'd stick around in case the old man himself shows up. Then we seen Morelli sneak in, and we decided to come up. And it was pretty lucky for you, too.
Yeah.
Morelli a friend of yours?
I never saw him before.
What's he want of you?
Wanted to tell me he didn't kill Julia Wolf.
What's that to you?
Nothing.
What did he think it was to you?
Ask him. I don't know.
I'm asking you.
Keep on asking.
Oh, so you're going to keep mum, huh? All right, Mr. Charles. I won't bother you tonight, but I'll be in tomorrow morning, and I'll have plenty of things to ask. Good night.
Thank you, Inspector Guild. Next time you come, try to stay longer. Nick, wake up. It's Christmas.
Oh, yeah?
Look, here's a telegram for you. It just came.
Open it, will you? Probably a touch from somebody. Well?
Nick,
What is it?
it's from Clyde Winans. Listen. Will you take charge of investigation on Julia Wolf's murder? Communicate with Herbert Macaulay. Clyde Winans.
Where's it from?
Philadelphia. Then he didn't do it, did he, Nick?
I don't know. Communicate with Macaulay, huh? All right, we'll ask him up here this morning. There you are, Macaulay. What do you think?
He wants you to handle the case.
Yeah.
Oh. Well, what are the chances of you doing it?
Slim.
Oh, please, Nick.
Quiet, dear.
I wish you would, Mr. Charles. Would it help any if I could persuade him to meet you?
You might.
I had word from Wynant myself last night. He gave me a code message to insert in the newspapers in case I wanted to get in touch with him.
Wouldn't do any harm. Put it in.
I'm sure you could clear this up. Oh, Wynant will only come back. It doesn't look well he's staying away at a time like this.
Yes? Oh, just a minute. For you, Mr. Macaulay, police department.
Police department? Hello? Where? In Allentown. Yes. Well, when's the next train? Right. I'll get that.
Well?
Wynant's tried to commit suicide. They want him to go down and identify him. Well, I guess this changes the whole story, doesn't it? That looks like an admission of guilt. I had such hopes. I thought if you got on this case... well. Well, it's no use thinking about it now. Well, I'm sorry to have wasted so much of your time. You'll excuse me, won't you?
Of course.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Well, that's that.
What's the matter with you?
Oh, the mystery's all gone. And I wanted you to find out who did it.
Maybe I will.
But Winans,
I don't believe he did it.
why don't you?
No reason. That's hunch. But I'm going to find out. Come on, Dr. Watson. We're going places. I want to speak to Inspector Gill.
Man to man, Mr. Charles. Are you working on this case?
Man-to-man, Inspector Guild, I'm not.
But he's interested.
I don't mind telling you, I'd rather have you in on the right side.
You mean not on Winant's side?
I'd rather have you working with us than against us.
So would I.
It's a bargain, then. Do you know about the case?
I read the paper. What about the suicide?
Oh, that's a phony. The men didn't even have to go down.
Yeah, I thought it might be. From now on, they're going to think that every thin man over 6 feet with white hair is Winant.
Do you think that Wynant did it?
It looks like he planned something. He shut up his apartment and his shop. But there's nothing yet to clinch it.
50 will get you 100 that Winant didn't do it.
Who's your candidate?
I haven't got that far yet. I don't think that everything points to Winant. What about the alibis?
They're all okay. Mrs. Winant, the boy, Dorothy, Macaulay, even Morelli.
What about Jorgensen?
Huh? Oh, I'll check on that. Well, I'm afraid this is kind of dull for you, Mrs. Charles.
Dull? I'm sitting on the edge of my chair.
Frankly, I'm stunned. I don't know what to do next. What about you, Charles?
Me? No, but I've got a hunch.
What is it?
I got a call last night. I thought it was from a crank, but I changed my mind. Whoever it was knew something, and I've got a feeling I'll hear from him again. What time is it?
Almost 10. Still waiting to hear from the crank?
And how? Here, give me that, quick. Hello? Yes? Yes? This is Nick Charles? Who? Can't hear you. I said I can't hear you. Have to speak louder.
I can't speak any louder. Say, this is Al Nunheim again. You know, I called you last night. Hey, listen. Are you still interested in that proposition? Yeah, huh? All right, then. Now, here's the dope. And get this straight. The man who killed Julia Wolf...
What's this, Gil? You think Winant killed Julia Wolf and Nunheim?
Right.
Why?
2 reasons. First off, Mimi Winant came across with a watch chain. She plucked off Julia's body.
Oh, she did, huh?
It belonged to Clyde Winant.
Yeah. What's the second reason?
A pip. The bullet that killed Nunheim came from the same gun.
That's all right, Inspector.
All right, it's perfect. Clyde Winant is guilty of both those murders.
Maybe.
What?
50 will still get you 100. I say Winant's innocent.
You can say what you want, but I'm spreading a dragnet for that guy over every town in these United States. And I'll get him, too.
Calling all cars, cover all roads, leaving city, pick up Clyde Winant, tall, thin man, last seen wearing dark blue suit, Clyde Winant.
Do you think they'll find him, Nick? He must be in New York.
Probably is.
Oh, it's getting me down. I saw Dorothy today.
Yeah? What?
She's broken off her engagement.
What for?
Oh, don't ask me. She was a little hysterical. Something about not wanting to ruin her fiancé's life. Daughter of a murderer and all that.
Oh, poor kid. Well, see you later, darling.
Where do you think you're going?
I'm going to take us for a walk.
He's just been for a walk.
We're going sightseeing, aren't we, Esther?
Nick, what are you up to?
I've got a hunch. I'm going down to look at Winant's shop. I want to find out why it's closed.
Well, why shouldn't he close it? He went away.
He went away lots of times when I knew him, but he never closed his shop. I've got a hunch something's up.
You mean he might be hiding there?
I don't know, but this thing's got my goat. I've got to find out.
Nick, I won't have you going down there at this hour of the night. He's a crazy man. He might kill you.
It'll be all right. I've got Asta to protect me.
All right. Go on. Go on. See if I care. But it's a dirty trick bringing me all the way to New York just to make me a widow.
You wouldn't be a widow long.
You bet I wouldn't.
Not with all your money.
You dog.
Goodbye, darling.
Nicky, take care of yourself, won't you?
Sure I will.
Don't say it that way. Say it as if you meant it.
Why, I believe that every woman cares.
I don't care. I'm just used to you, that's all.
Sure. So long, darling. Come on, Esther. Come on, come on.
Goodbye. Call me, darling, please. I'll be waiting to hear from you. Asta, if you let anything happen to him, you'll never wag that tail again.
listening to the Lux Radio Theater's production of The Thin Man, starring William Powell and Myrna Loy, with the music under the direction of Louis Silvers. This is W.S. Van Dyke speaking. We have here tonight the man who wrote the great picture, Lawyer Man, for Bill Powell here. He's a producer, too, but just on the writing end. He's done many great pictures, 42nd Street, The Gold Diggers, King of Burlesque, and lots of others, including an original musical, Ladies in London, which you'll be seeing soon. And here he is, the man whose name you'll see on the screen before the picture starts. One of Hollywood's greatest picture writers, James Seymour. Hey, Jim.
Thanks, Woody. I've been a movie writer for 10 years. That's the first kind word anybody has said to me.
Listen, Jim, the average person thinks a movie writer is a fellow that sits by himself at a typewriter, hammers out a lot of dialogue, and hands it in. Would you like to correct that impression?
I certainly would. Nobody works alone and by himself to make a picture. It's a matter of constant cooperation between producer, director, technician, actors, and the writers. Some of the best story ideas come out of the conferences.
Jim, how many writers would you say there are on an average picture?
Plenty. Believe it or not, I've seen pictures where there were more writers than actors. If all the people who contributed to the story got screen credit, it would look like a page from the telephone directory.
You've written on both the stage and screen, Jim. Tell the folks how they're different.
Well, pictures have less talk, but they tell more in less time. Like concentrated foods, all the good and none of the waste. In the theater, everything must be brought to the audience. On the screen, you take your audience wherever the camera can go. And here's another important point that comes right back to your Lux Radio Theater. On the stage, the star just enters. But on the screen, she's introduced with a big close-up. A picture of the star's face many times larger than life-size. Every time a movie star's complexion is mentioned in this Lux Radio Theater, I think of those close-ups. Those stars just have to be beautiful. And they found that Lux Toilet Soap helps them look their best. Producers know it, too. And that's why it's the official soap in all the great studios in Hollywood. Right, Woody?
Right on the nose, Jim. Thanks for coming over.
Thanks for asking me. Good night.
Good night, Jim.
We pause for station identification. This is the Columbia Broadcasting System.
The Thin Man. Nick is on his way to Clyde Winans' deserted laboratory. In a dark and desolate section of the city, his cab veers sharply around the corner and pulls up in front of a gloomy, old, rickety building.
Say, mister, are you sure this is the place you wanted?
Looks like it. Come on, Asta, jump. How much owe you?
$1.20. Or do you want me to wait?
No, never mind.
Oh, that's good. Now, this ain't no neighborhood to be in at 2 o'clock in the morning. I want to get out of here.
There you are.
Thanks. Hello.
Come on, Asta. Come on, what's up with you?
Hello.
Nora, what are you doing here?
I beat you down. I want to go with you, Nick.
Now, listen.
No. You're not going in that place alone, and that settles it. Now get out that skeleton key of yours and open that door. I'm here to stay.
All right, come on. Test.
Darling. Nice neighborhood Winans picked out for his laboratory. I can almost hear the chains rattling. Do you believe in ghosts, Nicky?
There we are. Come in. Be quiet.
Nick, it's dark in here.
Yeah, I've got a flashlight. We'd like to close the door. Shh. Asta, shut up. Go on, Nora.
Which way?
Straight ahead. Till you get the layout of the place.
Looks awfully big to me. You can't even see into the corners.
And don't let the shadows frighten you.
Who's frightened?
Hold it.
What's the matter?
This looks like Winans' work table.
More like a slab in a morgue. Look, Nick. There's a cement floor all around.
Yeah, there'll probably be a lot of weight goes on that table. Come on.
Where to now?
There's an old desk over there on the wall. I want to take a look at it.
What do you expect to find?
Darling, if I knew what I'd find, I wouldn't be...
Nick. What's that, Nick?
Just a loose board, I guess.
It sounds like somebody was walking over that way.
Oh, just your imagination. There's no one in here but us.
No. What about Wyman? This is his workshop. Why couldn't he be hiding out here? What's that?
It's Asta. Asta, come here. She's scratching on the cement around the work table. Asta, stop it. Stop it. Did you hear what I said, Asta?
Nick, look at him. He's after something. I've seen him scratch the ground like that when he was looking for...
Asta. Asta,
cement. Listen.
Nick.
It's hollow. I wonder if I could find something to dig it up.
There's an iron bar on the table. I just saw it. Here it is.
Ah, good. Now, if I just knock a hole in that cement, we'll find out what's under there.
Oh, Nick, I'm scared.
Asta, quiet. Keep away, Nora.
Asta, come here.
Once more. Look. There she goes. I'm through the cement.
Nick.
Asta, get away from there. Get away.
Nick, what is it? What's he after?
We must get Inspector Gill here.
What's under there?
A body. Must have been there for weeks.
Oh, Nick.
Wait a minute. Wait now, you reporters. You'll get the story as soon as I can give it to you. Until then, you gotta leave us alone. Come on now, get out. Those reporters are enough to drive a guy nuts. Well, you were right, Nick. It was a body. A skeleton, rather, buried in lime. I wonder what Winant had against this one.
Did you find any clothes?
Yeah, but no identification on them. Just a silver belt buckle with the initials DWR.
DWR. Who is that?
I got a good idea. That case you worked on. The guy who threatened to kill Winant. What was his name?
Oh, Rosewater.
Yeah, Rosewater. He said Winant tried to steal an invention, didn't he?
Yes, but we figured it was just blackmail.
Just the same, Winant wouldn't mind having him out of the way, would he? And according to the doc, the body's been there at least a couple of months.
That's just about the time Winant closed the shop.
Right.
Did you put the skeleton under the fluoroscope yet?
Half an hour ago. We found the bullet he was killed with, and something in the leg bone. An old piece of shrapnel.
Shrapnel?
Yeah. Why?
Shrapnel in the leg bone. He probably limped.
What do you mean?
Oh, nothing. Well, so long, Inspector. I'm going to pick up my wife, take her home. It's been a long night.
So long. Give her my best, will you?
Right.
Where are we going, Nick?
Back to the hotel, my sweet. Pack our bags and take a nice trip somewhere.
A trip? Oh, no.
My soul, woman, I gave you 3 murders and you aren't satisfied.
I want you to stay and find Winant.
I did find him.
What do you mean?
He was down in the shop.
Nick.
It was his body that was buried there.
Winant's body?
Yeah?
But they all said it was Rosewater.
Oh, that's what they think.
What makes you so sure it's Winant's body?
Several things. Clothes, for instance. They were carefully preserved. And the body was just as carefully destroyed. The person that killed him counted on one thing, that all skeletons look alike.
Well, don't they?
Sure. But I remember that Winant had some shrapnel in his shin. They found it under the fluoroscope.
How long has he been dead?
A couple of months, anyway.
Then he couldn't have committed those other murders.
Smart gal.
Winant dead. Did Dorothy know?
No, nobody but you. I didn't even tell Gil.
Why not?
I want to lie low till I get the whole dope. I don't want to go off half-cocked.
What are you going to do?
I'm going to get the real murderer. I've got an idea. Want to see me take him?
Yes.
You got a nice evening dress?
Oh, I've got a Lulu. Why?
I'm going to give a party, a dinner party. Everything from Russian caviar to camembert cheese, an orchestra behind the palms, subdued lighting.
What is this?
And I'm going to invite all of the suspects.
The suspects? They won't come.
Oh, they'll come. I'll have Gil issue the invitations.
Nick, who's going to be there?
Everybody. You, me, Dorothy, Eric's fiancé,
His name's Andy.
Right. Macaulay, Mimi, Gilbert, Jorgensen, and Morelli.
Oh, darling, what a lovely party.
All right, when's the big hour? Good evening, everybody.
Mr. Charles, what is the meaning of this?
The meaning of what, Mimi?
Why were we all rounded up like common criminals and brought to the sitter?
Yes, to eat, Mimi, and talk. Will everyone please be seated? Dorothy, here.
Thank you.
Andy, next to her, please.
Oh, but Mr. Charles,
Please.
Very well.
Mimi on the other side of Andy. Mr. Jorgensen over there, please.
Very kind, Mr. Charles.
Not at all. Mr. Macaulay next.
Of course.
Morelli?
What?
Right where you are.
Now, say, listen.
Sit down. And Gilbert, you can sit just opposite Mama.
Mr. Charles, I have a theory.
We'll listen to it later. Inspector Gill, you and your men will stand by the door, please.
Sure.
Fine. Now, Nora, if you'll sit here by me.
Delighted, Mr. Charles.
A pleasure, Mrs. Charles.
Now, we're all ready to begin.
Will you please pass the celery, Mrs. Weiner?
No, I will not. I demand to know why we are here.
Before dinner? All right. I've got some important news. I've seen Winant. Certainly I mean it.
That's nothing. I saw him myself.
Yes, Mimi? When?
Last night. He came to see me in my apartment.
Oh, did he? What did he say?
He didn't say very much. He wanted to know how I was and how the children were.
I'm afraid you're lying, Mimi. You see, I really did see Winant last night.
Are you kidding?
No.
Why didn't you tell me? Why didn't you hold him?
Because I found out for certain that he didn't commit the murders.
You know that's
Now,
ridiculous.
wait a minute. Let him have his say.
Thank you. Morelli, you knew Julia. Was she jipping Winant? Taking dough on the sly?
Well, she don't say she is, but I figure she is, yeah.
Thank you. Now I'll tell you why I know Winant didn't commit those murders. 3 months ago, Winant found out that Julia was cheating him and was splitting with some man. He went to find the man, and he did. That man was desperate. He knew that he was caught dead to rights. And at prison, staring him in the face, he took the only way out. He killed Winant.
Oh,
It's terrible to tell you this way, Dorothy, but your father's dead.
dead,
He's been dead for 3 months.
dead. Oh.
Oh, darling, don't cry, please.
Oh.
I know it's terrible, but isn't it really better this way?
Oh, Andy. Andy. You'd better take her home, Andy.
Yes, of course. Come on, darling.
Let them out, Inspector.
Open up. Oh, don't cry, darling, please. It'll be all right now.
Oh, this is absurd. How can Clyde be dead? You said yourself you saw him last night.
So I did. I saw him lying buried in his shop.
You mean that body?
Was Winant.
Perfectly absurd.
And the murderer is right here in this room tonight. He's sitting at this table. What?
Who is it?
I don't know. But I thought if we all had a little get-together, we might be able to find out. I'll tell you as much as I know. This murderer is a very clever man. He planned the whole thing beautifully. After he killed Winant, he wired Macaulay, using Winant's name, and told him to shut up the shop. Then he took Winant's body and buried it in the shop with another man's clothes to throw us off the track. He even put a belt buckle with an R on it, hoping that we'd think it was Rosewater, an old enemy of Winant's who dropped out of sight years ago. Morelli.
Yeah?
Would you mind holding your knife the other way? You're worrying Gilbert.
Oh, excuse me.
Nick, if that knife is missing, I'll look for it in your bag.
I'll help you look. Well, after our hero had killed Winant, he got a brilliant idea. He realized that he and Julia could still collect money. Winant was supposed to be on a trip. No one knew where. So our dinner guests wrote letters to Macaulay, signing Winant's name, so that Macaulay would continue to send the money to Julia. He even telephoned Macaulay. Do you remember Macaulay? The first day that you came to see me. He telephoned that he was in town.
Well, it must have been Winant. I should have known if it weren't his voice.
Oh, he was clever about that. He called when you were out. Now, that same afternoon, Julia telephoned him. She said that you were coming, Mimi, to ask about Winant. He got terrified. He was afraid that Julia would break down and tell. So he went to Julia and killed her. And left Winant's watch chain in her hand.
Maybe, what did you tell me about that watch? If I ever get... I don't know. The guy that did that to Julia, it makes sense.
I hope you're well.
Quiet, please. His plan was still working beautifully. The only hitch was a man named Nunheim who had found out something. So our hero bumped him off, too. But our hero overlooked just one item. The telegrams, wires, and telephones were all very well, but no one had seen Winant. So the murderer picked on poor Mimi here to strengthen his case. Mimi is the only one at this table who can tell us who the real murderer is. Mimi? Who was it told you to say you'd seen Winant?
Nobody told me. I did see him.
What did he pay you, Mimi, to stick to that story?
It isn't a story. It's true. I did see Winant. He's not dead.
You're lying, Mimi. But then you'd do anything for money. You're getting a good price for saying you saw Winant.
I'm not going to sit here and be insulted.
Sit down. You're getting a good price, Mimi. But don't forget this. 2 other people were in with him on this deal. Julia and Nunheim. When he thought they might spill something, he bumped them off. You ought to know darn well that he's not going to take any chances on you. What do you want to do, be next on his list?
No.
And who is he? Who paid you that money?
Macaulay.
Macaulay, you dirty little... I think that will hold him.
Oh, boy, what a wallet. Hey, nice work, Mr. Charles.
There's your man, Inspector. Mr. Macaulay.
I can't believe it.
What do you want me to do, wrap him up in cellophane? Pick him up and get him out of here.
Come on, boys. Grab him.
Let me get a hand up.
Nick, you took him. I knew you would.
Yeah, another case like this, and I'll develop into a prize fighter.
Oh, Nicky, you're grand. You're glorious.
I'll bet you say that to all the boys.
Well, that's that. The story of the Thin Man with William Powell and Myrna Loy. I'm going to get them back out here in a minute to talk to you. As you know, these broadcasts from the Lux Radio Theater are quite an event in Hollywood. And among our many friends here tonight, as well as the greatest stars of the silent pictures. I admired her from afar when she was doing such magnificent spectacles as Cleopatra. And I was just an extra. Today, she is the wife of one of our leading film directors. I've known her for many years as a most charming and gracious lady. And I want you to meet her now, Miss Theda Bara.
Thank you, Woody. Our Hollywood entertainment has certainly developed amazingly since I was making pictures.
Yes, everything's different now.
As you and I know, before pictures grew up and started to talk, we had to translate all emotion into pantomime. Oh, you may think you have trouble today, but do you remember the difficulties we had working with a split screen? We had to express jealousy, hate, love, or devotion, all in pantomime, and at the same time keep pace as the director guided us with a 1, 2, 3, 4, just as a metronome guides a pianist.
Pantomime has always been one of the greatest of arts. And may I say, Miss Bara, I've always thought that you were one of the greatest masters of that art.
Oh, you're very kind, Woody. We worked awfully hard making those pictures. For instance, in making Cleopatra, we had no research department at the studio. I worked myself for months with the curator of Egyptology at the Metropolitan Museum in New York. It was great fun, though.
I understand, Miss Bara, you're going to make some radio appearances.
Yes, I am. And I'm also going to do some motion picture work.
No, that's good news.
I'm considering an offer now, running through scripts and ideas. Oh, I just hope everyone will be as happy about another Theda Bara picture as I am. The public has been very good to me in the past.
And I know they'll be awfully glad to see you again. I'm sure it'll be a great thrill not only seeing you, but hearing your voice. Thanks, Miss Bara, for joining us tonight.
I'm glad I could. Good night.
Hearing Theda Bara talk of her plans brings to my mind some other plans I've heard discussed in Hollywood this week. Picture people are talking about Charlie Chaplin's recent statement that he will start work on a new picture very shortly. Miss Paulette Goddard will be starred. Chaplin will write and direct, but will not act in it. A disappointment to many of us. Barbara Stanwyck and Robert Taylor are starting a new picture today, and I'm tickled to death that I got the job directing. It's called His Brother's Wife. Speaking of Bob Taylor, there's a lad who is going places. He's got a great future. And sometime in that future, he's going to do Armand to Greta Garbo's Camille. Bill Powell and Myrna Loy here, interested in the making of MGM's picture, The Good Earth. Louise Rayner, who was with them in The Great Ziegfeld, and Paul Muni are the stars. And now Bill Powell and Myrna Loy are coming out on the stage. Arise, Bill, Myrna. Kids, you did a great show. You're really marvelous.
What, no retakes?
No property man.
Yeah, Bill. I'll bet you're glad my property man isn't here. Remember how I used to swat you with a broomstick when you weren't hurrying on the set fast enough?
Yes, that Harry Alvarez is a great fellow. He's the most independent cuss in the whole picture business.
Listen, Bill, that fellow was with me in the Arctic when we made Eskimo. He was with me in African jungle when we made Trader Horn. And after a man has handled crocodiles, sharks, pythons, and polar bears, you can't expect him to be afraid of a mere actor.
Yeah, there's only one thing I can never understand about that picture, Eskimo, Woody. How did they tell you from the polar bears?
He wore rubbers.
I wore a hat.
It must be pretty tough, Woody, when you have to plow through swamps, jungles, tropics, and the Arctic. I suppose when you call up and say you're going on location, your wife says, oh, yes, location. Do you want the snowshoes or the snakebite medicine?
Unfortunately, she doesn't say that. When I say I'm going on location, she just says, you are not. Incidentally, I thought all about that traveling, I thought all about it when the Lux Soap people asked me to do this broadcast. Isn't it funny? In the Arctic, soap is something they like to eat. In the tropics, they use soap for money. And here in Hollywood, soap is something that keeps the stars beautiful.
Now, I can see that it keeps Myrna beautiful, Woody, but
When are you going to start using that
Nice
juice
talk,
soap?
nice talk. What I do use is that. And that's no kidding. Anyway, thanks for coming up, kid.
Goodbye, Woody.
Goodbye.
Bye-bye. Before I tell you about next week's show, I'm going to ask our announcer, Mr. Rick, to tell you more about the cast and about Hollywood studios who are cooperating with us.
Our cast of characters tonight: Nick, William Powell; Nora, Myrna Loy; Mimi, Minna Gamble; Macaulay, Porter Hall; Dorothy, Barbara Luddy; Gilbert, William Henry; Chris Jorgensen, Brett Morrison; Julia Wolfe, Margaret Brayton; Inspector Guild, Thomas Jackson; Morelli, Wally Mayer; Nunheim, Ernie Adams. Our director, W.S. Van Dyke, and our stars, William Powell and Myrna Loy, appeared through courtesy of Metro-Goldwyn-Mayer, as did Mr. William Henry, and Porter Hall through the courtesy of Paramount. The musical director of this program, Mr. Louis Silvers, appears through the kindness of 20th Century Fox. And now, here is your producer, Mr. W.S. Van Dyke.
Thanks to all of you in the cast. You did a swell job. Next week, ladies and gentlemen, the Lux Radio Theater is going to have a great show for you, and believe me, Al Jolson and Ruby Keeler are going to be here to appear in Burlesque. It was a smash hit on Broadway and then a great moving picture, and now it's going to make a marvelous radio vehicle for Al Jolson and Ruby Keeler. I think you'll like it. B. DeMille will return to the Lux Radio Theater in time to produce Burlesque. And you know he'll give you a great show. I've enjoyed being with you all, and good night.
Is the Columbia Broadcasting System.
Now, Frank Sinatra, transcribed as Rocky Fortune. NBC presents Frank Sinatra, starring as that footloose and fancy-free young gentleman, Rocky Fortune.
Did I ever tell you about the time I got mixed up in a plot to murder Santa Claus? Yeah. It all started when I answered a Christmas ad for a department store. The ad said young man of good character as auxiliary store detective and other duties, 2-week employment. So next day I am an auxiliary shamus for Quackenbaum's department store. Kind of a high-class Fifth Avenue dispensary where for only $50 you can buy your girl a mink toothbrush. And for an extra $5,000 you can get her a coat to match.
This way, Mr.
Fortune, Rocky Fortune, Mr. Prim.
Yes. This is 5th floor, children's toys. Note, please, Santa's workshop and the enchanted igloo. This will be your post.
What do I do?
Just keep an eye on the merchandise. Quackenbaum's has had a good deal of shoplifting recently.
Yeah, especially in the jewelry department, eh?
We don't like to talk about that, Mr. Fortune.
Mister, it's been on the front page of all the newspapers for a week. $8,000 worth of pearls.
Wow. The thief will be apprehended in good time, have no fear. Well, I must get back to my office.
Just a minute, Mr. Prim.
Yes?
What happens if I see a gunner?
A what?
A lifter, a thief.
Apprehend the criminal with the merchandise and bring both to my office behind the elevators. The name Lysander Prim is on the door.
Check.
Oh, and one other thing.
Yeah?
At lunch hour, you will relieve Santa Claus.
You mean put on a beard and everything?
Oh, it's just for half an hour. As a matter of fact, you start in exactly 5 minutes.
I'm not exactly built for this.
Neither is our present Santa. They're running thin this year. Just ask Big Elf to help stuff you.
Big Elf?
Santa's helper. The large fellow in the elf suit.
Oh, sure.
Good luck, Mr. Fortune. The honor of Quackenbaum's is in your hands.
At $44.50 a week, Mr. Quackenbaum is getting a bargain. Big Elf, whose name is Marty, weighs about 250. He helps me into Santa's suit, and I take over inside the magic igloo while Santa goes out for some chowder. I embarrass a couple of mothers by promising everything the kids ask for, and I'm really living it up, having the time of my life when a little girl about 6 comes in all by herself. She's a pretty little thing, too, with blue eyes and freckles. On one leg is a light steel brace. Jingle bells, jingle all, and that's what I want for Christmas. Well, hello, honey. You here all alone?
Yes, sir.
Well, what can I do for you?
I have a note for you.
A letter for old Santa, huh? Ho, let's have a look. Dear Santa, you know what we want for Christmas. We better get it or you'll never live to make those Christmas... Well, did you write this letter yourself, honey?
No, sir. A man gave it to me.
What did he look like?
A big man with a black mustache. He gave me a nickel, too.
Heavy spender, huh? Honey, what's your name?
Gail. Gail Grayson.
And what would you like Santa to bring you for Christmas, Gail?
I'd like your elf.
You mean Big Bonehead out there?
Oh, no. Not the man in the elf suit. I mean the elf doll. The one with the red silk suit and the green hat.
Oh, well, that's pretty expensive, honey. Maybe your mommy and daddy can't afford it.
I don't have any mommy and daddy.
Well, you leave your name and address with Santa, and I'll see if we can't arrange for something. It might not be that same doll, but...
That's the one I want.
Yeah, I can send. Well, look, Gail.
Gail?
I told you to wait outside the man's office.
I wanted to talk to Santa about getting that elf doll.
Honey, I told you that doll cost too much.
Santa says maybe he can arrange something.
Santa's wrong. Look, mister, I just been seeing a man about trying to get a job in this place so we can afford to eat. I don't have money for expensive dolls.
Well, I'm sorry, miss.
We've no business building up false hopes in children. They put so much faith in this.
Well, if you just let me explain...
Come around and explain Christmas Eve if you can.
Well, I'd like to, but I don't even know your name.
This is my sister Laura, and we live at 65 Bleakman Street, 5 flights up Santa...
Gail, for heaven's sake. Come along.
You won't forget the doll, will you, Santa? Please, please don't forget, please.
Lose a customer, Jack? I'm afraid I lost a friend, too. Cheer up. Maybe you won't live long, then you won't need a friend. Why don't you just stick to being a big elf, huh, Marty? Don't be a wise guy, Fortune. Me? I'm never a smart aleck. By the way, how do they spell elf? O-A-F? After lunch, the real make-believe Santa Claus comes back, and I turn over the suit, beard, and stuffing. I'm glad to get back to being a store detective. That big elf is no pleasure to work with. I keep thinking of little Gail. Well, let's face it, I keep thinking of her big sister, who's got eyes like Dresden china and a figure like a Lamage teapot. I wonder if I'm ever going to see her again. I don't have to wonder long, because right away things begin to happen.
Help! Softy! Santa! Santa!
All right, hold it.
Oh, let me go.
Take it easy. Well, Laura Grayson.
Who are you?
Santa Claus, remember? My name is Rocky Fortune. I'm also the store dick in this
Oh,
department.
Mr. Fortune, please. I don't know why I took it.
Well, let's see what we've got here.
It's the elf doll, the one Gail wanted.
Oh, baby, if you're going to shoplift a doll, they got better ways worked out than just pick it up and run with it.
I had to take it. I couldn't disappoint her. I couldn't.
Yeah, I guess it was partly my fault.
I suppose you'll turn me over to the police now.
Well, hold it. Lady, this ain't for general publication, but between you and me, I'm the world's worst toy store detective. Too much larceny in my blood. So I'll just turn around for 20 or 30 minutes, and if you're not gone when I turn back, I'm going to put the pinch on you.
You're letting me go?
Please, let's not be vulgar.
Well, thank you, Rocky.
Hey.
What?
You forgot the doll.
But...
I was going to buy it for her anyway. Besides, I get it for only $3 because it's a display model. Now beat it.
Oh, Rocky, I could kiss you.
Go ahead.
I will.
And a Happy New Year to you. Wow. kid slips down the stairway with the elf doll, and I am still wearing a lipstick on my cheek when Mr. Prim boils over. He looks so much like a clothing store dummy, you expect to find a price tag on him. Right behind him is Marty, the big oaf elf.
Mr. Fortune.
Oh, hi.
Where is she?
Where is who? Whom? He. The dame who stole the doll from Santa's workshop. Oh, you are a little elf, aren't you?
Mr. Marty here tells me he saw you catch her. Where is she?
Overpowered me. She must be a lady wrestler or something.
Mr. Fortune.
Tell you what, though, Mr. Prim, just to make everything okay, I'll pay for the doll.
What?
No kidding. You see, I know the young lady, and I was going to buy it for her anyway, so I...
Well, this is highly irregular.
Oh, come on, Mr. Prim. Think of how proud Mr. Quackenbaum will be when you tell him you unloaded that shop-worn display model, huh?
Well, it's highly irregular, but go ahead. The sales clerk will make out the proper form.
Well, thanks, Mr. Prim. I'll do that.
Hey, Fortune.
Yeah.
What was the dame's name?
What's it to you?
Just curious, you know.
I know. Stay just as you are. After closing time, I go into the employee's dressing room for a quick wash-up and a change of linen. Place empties out when my pal, the store Santa, flops in after a hard day at the igloo. He takes off his red suit, and I see he's built like a Japanese wrestler with a nose like Rudolph the reindeer, only it ain't from drinking melted snow.
Well, good night, everybody.
Good night, Herm. Looks as if the detectives and the Santa Clauses are the late workers in this department, huh?
Yeah, just you and me now.
Just you, Santa. I'm blowing right now.
Just a minute.
Yeah?
That girl who stole the elf doll.
What about her?
Mr. Prim mentioned that you know her.
So?
I'd like to know her name.
You're the second guy in a half an hour. What is this?
Just what I said, Fortune. What's her name and where does she live?
Look, I know you've been making a list and checking it twice, Uncle, but just why do you want to know?
I had my eye on that elf doll myself. For my kid. I'd like to get her for her.
They got brand new ones in stock.
I'm interested in that one. So the name, huh?
Sorry, Uncle.
Fortune. Maybe I don't make myself clear. I want that girl's name and address. I want it very bad.
You know you shouldn't use that voice. You don't sound like you got the holiday spirit.
I'm going to use more than a tone of voice if you don't unclaim.
Sorry, Sam.
Okay, Fortune.
Okay, Mom. You want to fight?
I'll try. What's her name?
Why, you punk, I'll bust you.
Gentlemen, please, just what is going on here?
Well, let Samson here tell you.
I was just showing Mr. Fortune here a couple of judo holds that might come in handy next time a young girl overpowers him.
This is not a gymnasium, gentlemen. I'll thank you to leave and report back promptly tomorrow morning. Good evening.
I managed to stagger out of my own power and head back to my flat. I figure I'll have some supper and then locate Laura Grayson for another look at that elf doll that everybody wants to get his hands on. Also, for another look at Laura Grayson. I stopped to line my flu at a local cafeteria and go up to the flat. I walk in like I live there, which I do, and discover I have guests.
Hello, Rocky.
Well, Sergeant Hamilton J. Finger. If I knew you were coming, I'd have baked a cake with poison in it.
A cake with a file in it would be more useful where you're going, Rocky, my old pal.
You are referring to the House of Detention?
The same.
Well, sir, if my days as a process server served me mention of a thing titled due process, which means you don't arrest a guy without you can make some kind of charge, right?
Right.
So?
So we would like to revolve the wheel of our conversation around the axle of your understanding down at the Irish Clubhouse.
Concerning?
Concerning a murder.
You said a murder?
Yeah.
Who?
Rocky, this is going to come as a shock to a naive young boy like yourself. But there ain't no Santa Claus.
How come?
How come? Because somebody stuck a knife in him. He's laying on his face over in Quackenbaum's department store. Let's go.
I spent the next few hours as a guest of the city, in the squad room, or sweatbox, as it is affectionately remembered by inmates of various steel academies in this state. And mine host is Sergeant Finger.
All right! Now for the last time. You had an argument with him, right?
He had one with me.
Okay. He socked you.
Yes.
You socked him.
Right.
You got interrupted.
Right.
You left.
Right.
Then you come back and stabbed him.
Wrong.
Okay. Let's have your story.
Somebody was after him, Sarge. I got a threatening note that was supposed to go to him.
Where is it?
Here. Ah, this is kid stuff. You ever hear of a kid threatening Santa Claus? Come on, son.
Okay, so it ain't kid stuff. Who sent it and why?
That's what the taxpayers hire you to figure out. Maybe it's got some connection with a jewel robbery.
What do you know about the jewel robbery?
Just what I read in the papers. Somebody snatched $8,000 worth of pearls.
You, maybe?
Don't be ridiculous. I wasn't even working there when it happened.
Makes you think it was an inside job.
The newspapers, they got the opinion from the police. You familiar with this organization?
Don't get funny.
Did it ever occur to you that maybe Santa Claus was in on that jewel job?
As a matter of fact, Rocky, the guy in that Santa Claus suit has a record as long as your arm. Only one thing is wrong.
Yeah.
We can't arrest him for his own murder.
So why pin it on me?
You're available. Also, whoever stabbed him was in on the inside. It happened after the store closed. Also, there's $8,000 worth of pearls floating around someplace and a reward for 1,000 to whoever finds them.
No kidding.
Yeah, you want to claim it? All you have to do is confess you killed a guy, turn in the pearls, collect the reward.
And go to the chair. I'll tell you what, Sarge. You do me a favor and I'll confess to the murder. The jewel robbery and all of the other old crimes you're too stupid to solve.
What's the favor?
Drop dead.
Rocky, someday, pow! Right in the toy department.
Come on, Finger. You know as well as I do I couldn't have done it.
What makes you think so?
That note the lieutenant handed you a few minutes ago. You checked my alibi and I was feeding my face in the cafeteria when he got stabbed. So stop giving me the needle and let me go home.
Fortune, someday.
I know. Pow! Can I go now?
Don't you like it here?
It's great, but I got a date with a doll. Finger turns me loose and I jockey my way right down to Laura Grayson's apartment in a cheap village flat. It's about 9 p.m. when I get my finger in the doorbell.
Just a moment. Rocky.
Hi. Can I come in a minute?
Of course.
Where's Gail?
Asleep. I hope so, anyway.
Listen, honey, I have to ask you something.
Well?
Have you got the doll?
Of course. Gail's so happy about it, she's ready to fly.
Look, I'll have to ask you for it back.
What?
Well, I'll get another one to replace it. A brand new one, really. But right now, I gotta have that one.
Sure.
It sounds kind of funny, and I can't explain it now, but you tell the kid I'll get her another one, huh?
It isn't necessary, Rocky. Wait a minute, I'll get it for you. Here.
Well, thanks. I have to get back to the store. I'll call you tomorrow, maybe for dinner, huh?
Uh-huh.
Good night, Laura.
Good night, Rocky.
I knew what she was thinking, so I didn't try to make any excuses. I just took the doll and headed back to my flat to take a look inside. It was as empty as an eggshell in a fox farm. I was just reaching for the phone when it rang. Hello?
Rocky?
Yeah.
Well, this is Laura. Rocky, something terrible's happened.
What's wrong? What's the matter?
Well, just after you left, a man came, a big man with a black mustache, and he asked for the doll. Said he was from the department store police. I told him you'd taken it back to the store, and he left.
Well, what's so terrible?
Well, he must have awakened Gail, and she over... Anyway, when I went into her room just now, she was gone.
She heard you say I was taking a doll to the store?
Yes.
Maybe she's on her way over there now to try to get the doll back.
At this hour?
Honey, 6-year-old kids don't know from the wages and hours law. Look, I'll take a run over there just in case she shows up. You notify the police and meet me. I stuff the kid's doll in my overcoat pocket and flag a cab over to Quackenbaum's department store. There's no sign of the kid out front, so I leg it around to the delivery entrance. No sign. I decide to check inside and show my pass to the night watchman at the entrance.
Hold it, mister.
Hiya, Pop. I work here.
Let's see your card.
Here, right here.
Yeah. Store dick, huh?
That's right, Pop. Now, listen, I'm looking for a little girl about 7 years old. Wears a brace on one foot. You seen her?
What would a kid like that be doing here after hours?
Her mother thinks she got lost in the store.
Oh. Well, I only been on a couple of minutes. I ain't seen her.
I'm going up to check the toy department on 5. You keep an eye out, will you? If she comes along, send her up to 5. I'll be waiting.
Okay. I'll keep watch, Fair.
Thanks. I go up to the toy department. In the darkness, it looks as eerie as a graveyard on Halloween. I figure maybe Gail managed to slip in past the watchman, so I give a yell. Gail! I almost scare myself to death. What's that?
Nobody here but us toys, boss. Get him up, Fortune.
I assume that ain't a lollipop stick in my spine.
That's right, smart boy. Step over here in the light.
So what do I owe the pleasure?
Just a little shopping trip. I'm looking for a doll.
You don't say.
I do. So hand it over.
Help yourself. It's in the coat pocket.
Toss it here.
There.
Now stand still while I have a look inside. Okay, wise guy, where's the stuff?
Stuff?
Don't play dumb. With $8 grand worth of pearls from last week's job inside this doll, where are they?
Search me, pal. Maybe you got the wrong doll.
I got the right doll, Buster.
What makes you so sure?
Santa Claus told me. Before he died.
Looks like you and Santa Claus were in on that robbery.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Until he tried to double-cross me.
What happened?
I heisted this stuff and gave it to Santa Claus to hide. He hid it so good I couldn't find it. He wasn't going to tell me where it was until I gave him more than half. Only I changed his mind for him.
Yeah, with a 4-inch blade.
Uh-huh. You should be a store detective. You're real smart.
I take it the stuff was in the doll.
That's right, Rocky. Only it ain't there now. And you had that doll.
Which means?
Unless you unclam, I may have to give you the same treatment I gave Santa Claus.
I'm telling you, the pearls were gone when I got that doll home.
And I'm telling you, if they were gone, it's because you took them.
I don't have them. Sue me.
Rocky, old man, it's Christmas time and goodwill to men and all that, and I hate to knock off two guys in the same day. But if you don't spill them pearls in 5 seconds, I'm going to put lead in your brain. Now, where are they?
No.
1, 2, 3, 4.
What the... Gail, hi, honey. Come back here, Fortune. Here's a football for Christmas, boy.
I let Big Elf have it in the puss with a football from the toy counter and grab the kid. We duck into the maze of counters and crawl along until we get behind some packing crates. Marty's cursing and looking for us, and he's still got a gun, too.
Yeah, I had to find you. I wanted to...
Don't let him hear us. Crawl into this packing case.
Rocky, I'm scared.
Do as I say.
Okay, Rocky.
Fortune! It's no use, Fortune. I'm going to find you, and when I do... Come on out, Fortune! Come on out!
Let's see what they got in these boxes. Mighty Mike mechanical police car. Oh, there's a big help. Hey!
What? Here. What are you going to do, Rocky?
You'll see.
I'm coming, Fortune.
Look out, Marty!
Watch out!
That's 2 shots. He's got a revolver that holds 6.
Rocket ship.
Fine. Let's try this on. Ready? Go!
Fortune, are you crazy? I'm going to get you.
There's a atomic blaster at Junior Space Cadet side.
Why not? Let's try it.
I hear you, Fortune. I hear you now.
Try this, Crumb. You missed, Marty. That's pretty bad shooting.
Maybe, punk, but this ain't going to be. Mother.
Those things got to be loaded before you can shoot them, Marty, remember?
You dirty...
Here's something else for Christmas. My gift to Santa's helper was a Louisville slugger right on top of the noggin. And just as he went out, the lights went on. And suddenly the place was crawling with humanity.
Rocky. Gail, are you all right?
We're fine, baby. Well, look who's here, late as usual.
No wisecracks. This the meeting?
Yes, officer, thank you.
Who's the stiff?
This is the bum who killed Santa Claus.
Boy, you should have seen Rocky beat him with that bat.
By the way, Gail, where's the stuff that was inside the doll?
You mean the pretty marbles? I thought they came inside the doll, Rocky. It was a sort of surprise.
Some surprise. Do you have them?
I think so. In my pocket someplace. Oh, here they are.
Sergeant? Here you are, sir. Just in case you ain't got all your marbles.
Marbles? Hey, those are the pearls that were heisted last week.
Got a magnificent mind, this Sergeant Finger. Gail, I'm sorry about the doll, honey, but unless I'm mistaken, you got about $1,000 reward coming for this stuff.
$1,000. Rocky, it's too good to be true. I must be dreaming.
Want me to pinch you?
Dead?
Why not? Yeah. Merry Christmas. Yeah.
NBC has presented Frank Sinatra as that footloose and fancy-free young gentleman, Rocky Fortune. Others in tonight's cast included Ted Von Eltz, Mary McGovern, Kay Stewart, Frank Gerstle, Jim Nusser, Barney Phillips, Bill Justine. Tonight's script was written by George Lefferts. Andrew C. Love directed. And now, to tell you about next week's adventure, here's Frank Sinatra as Rocky Fortune.
Next week, I managed to get involved in a fixed fight. Some gamblers want me to stay down for the long count, from here to eternity. Tune in and I'll tell you all about it. Till then, I'll see you around.
Visit with Fibber McGee and Molly tonight on the NBC Radio Network.
Thanks very much for joining us tonight. We'll look for you again next Sunday evening, 29 December, 2024. We broadcast from 8 to 11 Central Time. Until then, sleep tight. This is a production of Lobato Studios, Sao Paulo, Brazil.